I'm scared, dude. I went on your website and I see like, so I know you're smart because you know about atomic swaps and wanted to build a trustless bridge and may have done so.
Perhaps.
And so that's good. And you're interviewing people that are, you know, significant players in the political sphere and the anti-war sphere historically.
And regulations and crypto and technology as
Yeah.
well.
So I know you have the capability to be smart. But from a biz dev angle, like I hit your website for a minute and it just looked like a buzzword salad of we do everything for everyone.
This is where we differ, okay? I believe in open source software, right? And we're going to talk about that. I believe like Linux, okay? Linus Torvalds, not exactly the richest guy, probably not as rich as you, okay? But he's helped the world. You're talking about who's awesome, you know,
Yeah.
who's awesome. People like that, people who create and give away, scientists, right? Open source and so on. People who give away stuff. And sometimes
you're gonna lose this argument so bad. Elon Musk is making a huge error. He overpaid for Twitter. He bought the top. He's not good at timing markets.
The billionaire capitalist who buys a public forum turns into a private playground.
No, it was shit beforehand, please. The Twitter files proves it was even more shit than people thought.
I agree. I agree. They're all, as you said, controlled
it's still
by
shit.
People. They're controlled by a few people. Linux is not. Vitalik doesn't control Ethereum. He could die tomorrow and Ethereum would still be.
Yep, true. So I don't have a problem with private people owning stuff that's cool. He wants to create a better world and he thinks that free speech will do that. And I think he's actually wrong.
I agree.
Oh my God, Richard.
Wrong. Not only is he wrong, but the system he's embedded in, capitalism, compels speech, compels it. Meaning if you don't say what I want you to say, you get fired and replaced with someone who will say what I say. And the competition doesn't make it any better.
Free speech only improves the world if and only if people use that speech to advertise and propagate superior ideas and behaviors. If, however, free speech is only used to propagate stuff that sucks, in fact, it does harm.
And how do you think they do? Profit motive? They will basically look at news. Look at the wars that we have right now in Russia and Ukraine and in the United States. Yep. The wars are because the top-down media tells you controversial and incendiary things because that's what makes you come back. This is what I'm telling you, Richard. The people who are working and serving each other and earning that money and paying the interest, that's where the money comes from for these actual time deposits in the real banks.
You even got me to be against utility. It's amazing.
I think it's an amazing.
How do you do this, bro?
I think this was an amazing stream today.
Anti-crypto, anti-utility, anti-free speech, pro-government. Like, what the fuck?
Love it. Richard Hart,
I'm curious how we did this.
Controversial. I'm pro all those things. I'm pro the good things. So I hope you are too.
I will invite you to my country when it starts some long time from now. You can come visit it.
I was on the side of net neutrality. I wrote about net neutrality. They repealed it. Nothing much really happened, to be honest with you. I have to eat my words a little bit, meaning a lot of Republicans, and I'm not on the Republican or Democrat side, said that, you know, this, that the free market is actually, and the competition is on the side of no net neutrality, because you would have the people.
People don't know what free market means. Free means regulated. People think free market means unregulated market. Nope.
And I got Noam Chomsky, the foremost critic of the United States, agreeing that the United States is the best country for freedom of speech in the world currently. Okay. He said that since the 60s, that's true. And he claims that before the 60s, that was not.
Pretty sad state of affairs, ain't it? It's like the place where I can't, like, I was sweating. I wasn't sweating, but like I was so worried yesterday. I made a COVID tweet. I'm like, oh, well, I'm probably going to get banned for this one. But Elon says it's okay. Let's see what happens.
I love how all you guys are like begging, you're like little children. Please, sir, can I have some more? Can I have some more? Listen, this is what I'm saying. And then your
appeal to manliness would be so much more compelling if there was anything reasonable we could do about it. I'm not willing to lose money in a business.
You shouldn't.
To pretend to like
do a lot better. We don't need saviors like Elon Musk. We don't need private people, and including you and myself. I believe that the people who start the best things are the people who give them away. And we're going to have that discussion. Okay, Vitalik gave things away. Linus Torvalds gave things away. Jonas Salk gave things away, the polio vaccine. Scientists, Einstein, Newton, everybody. The only reason society even functions is because people are willing to allow other people to build on their work. Okay, when Newton said—
That's the opposite of capitalism. This is the first time I've ever actually heard this argument, that the origin address paid people to promote. That shit is crazy to
What's
me.
wrong with that? Listen, whatever.
It's if the origin address had paid people to promote, the people would have been paid very small fucking amount.
Like, what were the first words that Satoshi ever wrote on his white paper?
That was it. Yeah.
I want you to read this.
Peer-to-peer electronic cash system.
Okay. Here's the thing. Is Bitcoin an electronic cash system? So they failed. It totally failed at being the thing that it was supposed to be.
Yes, correct.
Okay. So why would I look at Bitcoin and be like, wow, what an amazing peer-to-peer electronic cash system?
Because the number went up. The number went up so much that you don't care about anything else anymore.
Yes. So let's actually delve into that, because that's way more interesting to me than your personality, no offense, and Satoshi's and Vitalik's.
Probably not more interesting, truthfully, but okay.
To me, it is. Because
making peer-to-peer cash is not actually interesting.
What I'm saying is, what's interesting
WeChat did that.
Is the number go up. The number go up. I'm holding the bag, so I'm going to shill my bag. When are we going to get to the point where communities can run their own elections, contests, like things locally, every community in the world? When can we get to that with Pulse Chain or anything?
I'm happy to take very small steps. I want Pulse Chain to launch, and then I'll talk about it doing really awesome stuff, because it launches with everything that's already on Ethereum, unless it's fake DeFi, and then there's some middleman whose D you have to suck to get him to launch his front end or whatever. But for the stuff that's real DeFi, it comes with everything. So
I think real DeFi basically should be serving the people, and we're kind of complementary. Like, we build the software that's going to run on Pulse Chain. Like, you build the Pulse Chain, right? We're going to run this software. We're going to have DAOs.
You know the difference between us? You know how screwed up the world is, and you're trying to fight it. And I know how screwed up the world is, and I'm willing to just take advantage of it. And I'm like, okay, this shit sucks like this. Well, then let's play the sucky game.
Right.
I'm not willing to be like, I'll launch my own Facebook, which is what you're literally doing.
Yeah,
you're literally like, I'm going to launch my own Facebook.
I should say the things have changed in some ways.
You know, who is the determinant of the public interest?
The more time people spend in digital worlds, the more of our lives we live there.
Intercoin, bringing power to the people.
Hi
there,
there.
Everyone. Hey, Richard. We're here with Richard Hart. He's a outspoken and controversial figure. Some people love him. Some people hate him. Some people swear by his projects. I'm going to go into depth with him on a lot of different subjects today, including free speech, including the blockchain and the future of crypto. Welcome, Richard. How are you?
I'm all right. I never understood the controversial thing. Like, I was right about everything and everyone else was wrong. So where's the controversy? Everyone else sucks. I'm awesome. I don't get it.
Yeah, I think this is going to be like a rap battle, guy. We're going to have a drink every time Richard talks himself up, and we're going to have 2 drinks every time he puts somebody else down. Just kidding.
I mean, let's put everyone else down, right? Like,
I don't know. There's some humble people out there.
Screw those people. What are they doing to get the word out? Did they call the Bitcoin top on the day? I did. Did they create a coin that went up 10,000 fold in price and was given for free to Bitcoin holders? No, I did. Are they doing the world's largest rare drop? No. Did they give away free self-help books for 5 or 6 years now? No. Did they call the 2017 top? No. Did they give $30 million to charity, or rather raise $27.5 million for charity? No. Do they own the world's largest diamond? No. But I do. I'm awesome. Everyone else sucks. Those are the figures.
Well, I agree with
you. Did they warn everyone about Celsius and Luna and FTX collapses and all the rug, like, it's just endless. I've been right about everything.
Oh, Web3 is becoming a shit show with all the centralized middlemen. The very thing that Web3 is supposed to have prevented, not your keys, not your crypto. And then people are just giving their keys, or rather just sending their crypto to these pinky swear middlemen, basically. And yeah, Alex Mission.
I mean, it's not even a Web3 thing. It's like Bitcoin preceded quote Web3, which I don't even believe exists. I don't think Web3 is even a thing. It's like the metaverse. There is no metaverse. You have a username, you have a avatar, and you have chatting or talking to the people in the lobby waiting for the game to start. That's it. That's all you've got, and that's all there's ever been, and that's all there ever will be. So where's the metaverse? There isn't one. And where's Web3? You've got a browser that you type HTTP into to go to websites. Okay, what's Web3? It's a browser that you type HTTP into to go to websites. Well, where's the 3? It's stupid.
Oh. So, okay, I think there's a lot we're going to get into so much of that. But right off the bat, I want to say it's probably going to be very different than pretty much every interview you've had, because half the people that have interviewed you haven't even like looked at Hex or really delved into talk to Hexicans or anything. You know, I've spoken to you. I've talked about Pulse also. I'm interested to hear about that. And I like decentralized protocols. I actually think, for example, that Hex is way better than pretty much every centralized exchange because it's a decentralized protocol. You know, the rules are up front. We're going to talk about that too. But yeah,
people don't get it. I got into Bitcoin at $30. It went down to 2. That was a 93.5% drop. I held, lucky me, Bitcoin's like 21K today. So if you held Luna, it went to 0. If you held FTX, you can't get your money out. If you had Celsius, you can't. I'm talking about if you used Celsius, you can't get your money out. If you used FTX, they stop withdrawals. If you used BlockFi, they stopped withdrawals and filed for bankruptcy, as did Celsius, as did FTX. And so now your fate is outside of your control.
Yep, pretty much. And the funny thing is that Bitcoin originally was designed as a response to middlemen gambling with your money. And those guys make the current guys look like, actually the current guys make those guys look like Boy Scouts, because those guys, sure, there was no Glass-Steagall. Sure, the banks were a little bit, you know, gambling with mortgages and CDSs, but at least they didn't like have 100 different shadow entities like the FTX guy who then shuffled money around with no CFO. You know, that's a little more.
And no record keeping.
Yeah.
And turned off the liquidation bot for Alameda, which currently shows a balance of around negative $64 billion. I hear. You know, and the other problem is that you can have all the Glass-Steagall and GAAP accounting standards you want, and it's not going to change the fact that they print this money and throw it out of helicopters. There's always a theory whether the government could just do helicopter money and just stimulate the economy by sending people checks. They actually did that. They just printed money and just handed it to people.
I would say that we agree on about like 80% of things. We agree on decentralization. We agree on Bitcoin, on a lot of it. I think it failed as a peer-to-peer.
I mean, my point is banks suck, but even if the banks were good, the currency sucks. So you're still screwed. Doesn't matter whether the bank's good or not. The currency still sucks.
Let me ask you a question though. What currency would you suggest as a replacement?
If you have to be in something that you want to be stable, the dollar is still king. If you prefer something that's going to go up over time instead of down over time, which, I mean, is the dollar stable if all it ever does is go down?
It could be. If it goes down predictably and slowly, that's called.
Well, that's what it's doing.
Yeah, it's been doing that for 100 years. We know what it's going to do.
Yeah. So, well, until, you know, every fiat currency fails in 50 years historically. So, you know, we quote know what it's going to do until it stops doing that and decides to go to 0, which I hope doesn't happen in my lifetime. That's going to be a rough one. But like,
I always joke that by the time I make it in dollars, the dollar will be worthless. But actually, the thing is, though, after Bretton Woods, after the dollar has become the reserve currency of the world, after all the petrodollar stuff, you know, yes, I think we've reached the peak. I think BRICS and China, and we're going to talk about that, are emerging as a competitor to the G7 and all those treasuries that the US is selling and now having competition. We're going to talk about CBDCs. But yeah, I think that ultimately they are stable currencies because it's basically the more people rely on something as a reserve currency, the more stable it is, because at any given moment, right, there's demand for it as a reserve currency, at least. So,
sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say that whatever they've done has failed society terribly. I don't think that eggs should be at all-time high prices. I don't think a dozen eggs should cost $5. I don't think the concept that if you graduate high school, you'll never be able to buy a house ever, because you'll never be able to afford it ever. You know, you used to be able to, so you can price things in hours. So a Big Mac used to cost, you used to buy like multiple Big Macs for an hour of work. Now you can't. So just priced in Big Macs, the like commodity food of the world. You can't, the commodity food of like the relatively organized world. You can't buy many, no matter how hard you work. And then you look at the price of houses or education and hours worked, and you're just like, wow, you can't work enough hours to get anything. And so if you work by the hour, your life sucks. And there's quite little.
Most people have to. This is one. So I think this is a good place to begin. So we agree on like 80% of stuff. I'm a libertarian. I criticize governments a lot. I also criticize corporations for working hand in hand with governments. When we talk about the Twitter files, I mean, and free speech, we're going to talk about that. And of course, you're talking about the United States. It's worse in other countries. It's worse in China. Okay. There's a reason why TikTok and WeChat and all these things had a meteoric rise. And that's because the Chinese government is like very happy to make sure everyone gets off cash and goes to WeChat and Alibaba and everything, because they could see all the transactions, right? And with the CBDC, they'll see everything, and then they can implement their social credit systems, and they can.
I don't think that's why they were successful. And I just learned about a clothing company that basically took over all of clothing while I wasn't looking, called Shein, SHEIN.
Mm-hmm.
They're valued at more than like MetaMask, or they're valued at more than Facebook and Instagram combined.
In China?
Oh, they don't sell to China, by the way. They only produce in China. They only sell outside of China.
Interesting.
And so this company took over all of fast fashion while I wasn't looking, and they don't even sell in China. And it's like, so I think that China has created very successful businesses and business models in spite of harsh regulatory regime. And it's just coincidental that the authoritarian regime also gets to like look at their data however they want. I think that's just coincidental.
I don't know if there's just a coincidence, because look at this. You've got a successful social network that organically comes up. Let's call it Twitter, right? And then the government says, well, now we've got to regulate this. Oh, by the way, we should get to know people in there. And hey, in this country, we have something called the national security letters, right? That they have to send to them, that they can't reveal that they got these letters. So you have these back channels and back doors even here. Every government's going to take a look at something that's big. So it's not a coincidence. They're not going to look at small shit, you know. They're going to look at.
I'm just saying, I don't think that the Chinese government is doing as much biz dev as the private people there are doing. So it's like.
Yeah, I'm happy to believe that WeChat organically became big. I mean, it's the everything app, right? So the way that WeChat worked.
I mean, it says you, but I don't use it. It is anyone I know.
I don't use
like one person. I mean, I have used it, but it sucked. It's like, if you don't speak Chinese, it ain't fun.
Yeah.
So
I
like,
agree with you. So a little bit of.
I think if they were trying to get WeChat to spy on people, they'd do a little more promo into the West, but it's entirely siloed in the East, whereas some apps aren't. So like WeChat's a bad example of China trying to like infiltrate the West. TikTok at least has a lot of American users. And then, by the way, like, what is this information you're worried about them getting that you're just not handing away for free to every company that wants it anyway, and then they're selling it anyway? I mean, the United States government itself will buy your location data from private party providers to kind of avoid some of the Fourth Amendment protections that you have. So like, it just, people are so stupid, they're going to give, even me, dude, you know, I use an Android phone. I don't use some special lockdown magic unicorn phone. I'd rather, like, you find out that in the surveillance economy, you're better off just like giving up a lot of the time and letting them like abuse your metadata and then going and living a good life. Like, for instance, I live stream.
Yeah.
On a platform that bans you when you say certain words, but at least I have a voice. There's people that are too cool to like to sell out and deal with big corp and don't want to use Google products. And you're like, all right, well, good luck. Good luck having bad searches and no views. And then they opt out of society basically because they're not willing to get punked by the giant companies. And so you've got to find this like middle ground of getting punked by the giant companies, but really having a security where you need it, and then not having a security where you don't. It's like anyone that has a Tesla car. You just turn your car off whenever they want.
Yep.
And just be like, boop. They can do that with more than just Tesla. They can do that with most cars today. Like, I think any of those cars that has like a dial home help me button probably also has at that little center where you can call them, they can probably also remotely shut your car down, is my guess.
So I think, I don't know about the cars, but I think the problem's bigger even than you're saying. What do you think of, first of all, how much do you know about me? Have you looked up anything I've been doing last 10 years?
I'm scared, dude. I went on your website and I see like, so I know you're smart because you know about atomic swaps and wanted to build a trustless bridge and may have done so.
Perhaps.
And so that's good. And you're interviewing people that are, you know, significant players in the political sphere and the anti-war sphere historically.
And regulations and crypto and technology.
Yeah. Well. So I know you have the capability to be smart. But from a biz dev angle, like I hit your website for a minute and it just looked like a buzzword salad of we do everything for everyone.
Which site?
And anytime your web 2, I think both of your sites had like buzzword bingo on there. It's like, hey, we're gonna have a thing that does absolutely everything for everyone. And anytime someone tries to do that, it fails, including Facebook. Facebook's like, oh, you know, we've already got the social network, so let's add a currency. How's the Facebook crypto doing? Oh, it doesn't exist. Oopsie. You know, yeah. How's PayPal's crypto?
By the way, as an aside,
they don't have one either.
You mentioned Facebook and PayPal. Just as an aside, let me go on one of my rants just for a second. I think people like it. Okay. Look, you're talking about, this is where we differ. Okay. I believe in open source software, right? And we're going to talk about that. I believe like Linux. Okay. Linus Torvalds, not exactly the richest guy, probably not as rich as you. Okay. But he's helped the world. You're talking about who's awesome, you know, yeah. Who's awesome. People like that. People who create and give away, scientists, right? Open source and so on. People who give away stuff. And sometimes
you're gonna lose this argument so bad.
yeah. This is gonna be awesome. So the engine of progress, right, throughout history is what? Yeah. Scientists racing to give away their ideas, right? Like Einstein.
No.
Well, hold on. Let me do my let me do my rants too. So we're gonna do like 50-50 if you don't mind, because it's something more interesting.
It's your show. Talk as much as you want.
Thanks. Let's talk about Facebook. Okay, just to give you an example. So Facebook and Twitter are currently privately owned. We have one guy, literally Elon Musk.
No, Facebook's a public company.
Yes, we can
Twitter's
talk about the shares.
Held.
We can talk about how the public your grandma can buy 5 shares in it. Yes, but at the end of the day, Zuck cannot be voted out.
Just say controlled, not owned, and you're fine.
Okay, great. So that little switch, it's privately controlled by a few people. Okay. Those people, the government knows who they are. They're right there. Okay. They can work with them and not tell you. Now, Zuck wasn't always like this. This is my point. In high school, Zuckerberg was offered $1 million by Microsoft for like a thing he did for like Winamp. Okay. $1 million. He turned it down, put it out as open source. Okay. In college, he made FaceMash. He made Facebook. He was this open source guy, bro. Okay. And he liked to create stuff for the people. Now, what happened was, what's interesting is, and I was there, I was in 2010, TechCrunch Disrupt, listening to Sean Parker, okay? What happened was, Sean Parker was saying that when Mark Zuckerberg created Facebook, he was actually also looking to do, wait for it, a decentralized, encrypted open source sort of peer-to-peer file sharing system. And I want to share my screen because I think it's important to back up a lot of what I say. I don't want to just say it, but just like you, I love to talk about controversial stuff. You would say, what? That's not possible. But that's exactly what happens.
So that if anyone ever sees my copy of this, he shared a screen. You can't see it because I would disappear, but I can see it.
Okay. That's important too.
It's fine.
Yeah. Let me find the actual, here we go. The actual
so let me just disprove your argument for you real quick.
Okay, let me
so how popular are Mark Zuckerberg's open source things and how popular is his closed source thing?
Right. And you know
like a billion times more popular than the closed source thing.
Yeah, but this is why. This is why, okay? Because
you know what else has that property?
No,
everything else has that same property.
No, because
every single private thing,
yeah,
ask, kill, murder, annihilates every single private thing except one single place, web hosting.
Okay,
and that's it.
Totally
that's literally
with
it.
That. I'll give you facts the other way.
Give me examples.
Okay, but first,
let's go.
Yeah, you asked me about Mark Zuckerberg. The reason why.
No, I didn't. I did not. You introduced this guy.
You just literally said why is how much is Mark Zuckerberg's thing, you know,
his closed source thing.
Yeah.
No one's ever
So
heard
let me just tell you something. The machine, the Matrix, they killed his open source thing. They turned Mark Zuckerberg from an open source guy to a corporate golden boy, okay, who buys up Instagram, who buys up the competitors, WeChat. Everybody quit from, you know, all of the people that made some of the best apps here. Like Instagram is
you're supporting my argument. You're telling me.
I know, I agree with your argument. We are we're on the same side of the libertarian argument. We're on different sides of the give it away argument, okay, of the freedom argument. So let me just talk about facts for a second. So I was there. So he goes, we put a bullet in that thing. Okay, that's how Sean Parker fondly looks back at Wirehog. A little bit about all these guys. Sean Parker used to be a guy who wanted to give away and share, you know, music, Napster. Okay, another industry, another monopolist industry.
I think you mean steal, but sure.
Yeah, but okay, we'll talk about that for a second. So that's fine. I love this. I love
give away music like he's on the drums.
No, but intellectual property, right? What is property, right? So you're basically talking about excluding other people from playing a song, from using an idea.
Well, hey, Belarus just made it legal to steal intellectual property from some countries. So there you go.
Permission? We need the government's permission to play a song.
I mean, these days, kind of, yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem.
I mean,
you need permission to speak on some of these platforms now.
Yeah, you got to beg the algorithm to get eyeballs, and then you got to not say certain words, or they just ban you. I've been banned 3 or 4 times.
So are you?
And I'm banned from Facebook. I've been banned from
yeah?
YouTube 3 or 4 times. We got unbanned magically somehow. Don't know how. Literally don't know how. You beg the ether, and you're like, does anyone work at Google? Can someone unban me, please? Thanks.
So wait, so people, this is the great Richard Hart who made Hex, who is awesome, the awesomest person, and yet you're begging some of these corporations and governments to give you basic features.
That's right.
Yeah.
Sucking middleman D, because they're not regulated as utilities. See, the funny thing is,
you want more regulation of them.
A lot of life, yeah, I do.
Talk about it. Okay. Tell me about it.
Sure. So you've got 2 enemies in your day-to-day life. You've got the bad guys. So let's say you grew up in Florida, as I did, and you're driving down the street. There's 2 people coming to screw you up. The cops are coming to screw you up and pull you over and maybe kill you for whatever. You didn't come to a complete stop at a stop sign. You know, you didn't pause long enough in the lane before getting into the next lane. You exceeded the speed limit, which they're going to be doing on the way home as well. But hey, you know, you were trying to get to work. So
New York City, you got these police benevolent cards that let you go for small things. It's
I used to have those. I had.
What do you think of that?
Fraternal order police license plate and card and stuff. I mean,
laws for me, but not for thee, kind of thing.
It's. I think it's like name dropping, kind of. It's
for laws, for enforcement of laws.
Yeah. Yeah, but like half of these laws suck. So if someone escapes the suck, you're like, uh-oh, let's crabs in a bucket that guy. He escaped the suck. Oh no. So like,
but you want more laws, you want more regulation.
Yeah, because the opposite of a bad law is not no law. It's a good law.
So what would be a good law in your opinion with Twitter and Facebook?
Sure. Very easily. We have competition amongst internet connection providers because Ma Bell got broke up.
Sure.
We used to have one single telecom company that ran everything. And the government said, hey, you know what? Capitalism is great, and capitalism works because people have choice and competition.
Capitalism.
So if you have competition and choice, then you breed excellence.
Right.
Yeah. Competition and choice breeds excellence. If you have a monopoly or an emergent monopoly, that just kind of happened, even though no one worked for it, like social media, then you don't have any choice, and therefore you don't have any competition, and therefore you don't have any progress, and it gets worse and worse every year for the user instead of better and better. And so if you want to see competition amongst social networks, you have to make them, you have to regulate them as utilities, make them open up the user data so that the users own it and control it, and then they can migrate it to wherever they're treated best. And so you have a base layer, and then you have value out on top of it. So you had your DSL line sitting at the local CLEC exchange building, and then they would allow other people to value out on top of it. So people would add chat rooms, people would add news groups, people would add email, people would add storage on top of the base layer. And then you can't just be immediately canceled, because the government will protect your right to exist, to speak, to have the ability to transact digitally.
So in other words, you want these corporations to have less ability to tell people what to do on their platform?
No, I want there to be more competition, so that when one guy uses his corporate right to abuse you because you're in his house and go start your own platform. And by the way, when you do try and start your own platform, they turn off your hosting, because we've seen that. So this idea that you can just go create your own platform is retarded, which is why you don't have any other platforms.
You're just preaching to the choir, brother. Exactly.
I already have accounts on all the alternative platforms, and I also have no viewers because no one there cares. So like, so if these utilities were regulated as utilities, then you would have competition, then you would have progress, then you would have a chance as a human being. But as it currently stands, your one or two platforms are being canceled away from being irrelevant. Okay. And there's a lot of people that have been canceled that you'll never hear from again. They're just gone. Like, when's the last time you actually heard from President Trump, who was a president to the United States of America? I was right about a lot of things.
He comes out, he's campaigning, he's out there.
But oh, is he? Because I haven't heard about it.
I don't think Republicans are that excited as they were in 2016 about him. I think DeSantis
Well, dude, I mean, but Republicans excited or not, he used to be all over the place, and now he's nowhere, and it's not his fault.
Okay, wait. So we're going to do this thing. I have to push back on a little bit, because you do a little bit of a gish gallop. You know what that is? Like when you put out a lot of yeah. So for the viewers, right, you say a lot of things, and then it's hard to like, I need to address point by point, and I do want to have a substantive discussion. So let's do this. Let's give each other like a minute. Like when I'm talking, like give me a minute, right? And then you can totally jump in there.
There was a hashtag on Twitter called net neutrality that was supposed to protect your rights as a digital citizen. The companies don't like it.
Correct.
They'll make less money and have more competition. And anything that introduces competition that's good for the user, it's bad for the incumbents. Okay,
first of all, okay, let's start there. Okay, I'm going to work backwards. Okay, so first of all, net neutrality. I was on the side of net neutrality. I wrote about net neutrality. They repealed it. Nothing much really happened, to be honest with you. I have to eat my words a little bit, meaning a lot of Republicans, and I'm not on the Republican or Democrat side, said that, you know, this, that the free market is actually, and the competition is on the side of no net neutrality, because you would have the people.
People don't know what free market means. Free means regulated. People think free market means unregulated market. Nope. An unregulated market means monopolies. And some guy comes and says, oh, wouldn't it be a tragedy if your store burnt out tonight? Maybe you should pay me to protect it for you. Yeah. That's normal markets. Free markets are regulated markets.
Okay, so let's go through all of this stuff, right? And in the end, I'm going to tell you a way that's not government that actually works better. And I'm going to tell you how you can see it works better around the world. Here's government. Are you sure your viewers are on your side? You can't see this?
They can't see this. They can't see it.
So
no, because it would take over my whole screen. It used to do that. It used to just take over I see a Congress.gov bill called the Free Speech Act, which probably means the opposite. Anytime they name it something like, oh, it's the Bank Secrecy Act, it removes secrecy.
Yeah,
oh, it's the Patriot Act, it removes freedom.
It is the opposite.
The Free Speech Act, it probably gets rid of free speech.
Okay, so it does try to address free speech, but in the way that you're talking about. More competition. More competition.
Well, that's good.
privately owned top-down corporations that tell their journalists what to say, and if they don't say it, they'll fire them. So yes, you have.
I'm pretty sure that you just made a big jump there. Is that how you think most newspapers work?
So
that's
yeah,
not how most newspapers
I
work.
will tell you more than that. I have people I've interviewed like Noam Chomsky on these subjects, and I can tell you this. Here, let me play it for about 10 seconds, and then we'll get into it.
Debated the judgment against him, and Holmes wrote a dissent, but a very mild one. He actually approved of the judgment, but he said you should have some constraints on when these laws are applied. So it's a very weak dissent. And actually, it wasn't until the 1960s that there were strong decisions by the Supreme Court. The first one was Times v. Sullivan.
Yeah. So unlike you, Noam Chomsky is a little boring if you just like. There's a long. You gotta wait. He speaks slowly.
He's about 100 years old.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, is he talking about yelling fire in a theater right now?
No, he's right now. So you can watch this, Freedom of Speech and Capitalism. He's going through, at this moment, he's going through the legal decisions by the Supreme Court about free speech. And I got Noam Chomsky, the foremost critic of the United States, agreeing that the United States is the best country for freedom of speech in the world currently. Okay. He said that since the 60s, that's true. And he claims that before the 60s, that was not.
Pretty sad state of affairs, ain't it? It's like the place where I can't, like, I was sweating. I wasn't sweating, but like I was so worried yesterday. I made a COVID tweet. I'm like, oh, well, I'm probably going to get banned for this one, but Elon says it's okay. Let's see what happens.
I love how all you guys are like begging, you're like little children. Please, sir,
Yep.
can I have some more? Can I have some more? Listen,
Yeah.
this is what I'm saying. And then
your appeal to manliness would be so much more compelling if there was anything reasonable we could do about it.
Oh, yes, there is.
You know what he did?
Yeah.
Let me tell you what reasonable thing he did was. He spent $44 billion to acquire a company that's been losing money for 10 years. That was what his reasonable solution to free speech was. I'm not willing to lose money in a business.
You shouldn't.
To
We, the
pretend
people,
to
can
like
do a lot better. We don't need saviors like Elon Musk. We don't need private people, and including you and myself. I believe that the people who start the best things are the people who give them away. And we're going to have that discussion. Okay. Vitalik gave things away. Linus Torvalds gave things away. Jonas Salk gave things away, the polio vaccine. Scientists, Einstein, Newton, everybody. The only reason society even functions is because people are willing to allow other people to build on their work. Okay. When Newton said
that's the opposite of capitalism. I don't understand how you can hold these so diametrically.
They are the opposite of
in your head
capitalism
at the same time.
So
capitalism works and it dominates, and then you're like, also love socialism. You're like,
no, this is not socialism. So when you're in the matrix and you think that the only alternative to capitalism is socialism, right? It's like what do we do? These guys are bad and these guys are bad. No. So the thing is, the opposite of property is no property. It's not having politicians decide, to regulate. So you're going to big daddy government and you're saying, okay, here's what you're going to do. And they say, sure, Free Speech Act. Yes. In fact, the Free Speech Act, I've watched the proceedings in Congress. You could see them. It's free. Okay. You could see it on C-SPAN. They talked about, more competition.
Yeah, I get it.
More competition.
They're just trying to make it so that they're removing the safe harbor rights of publishers to like just let users say whatever they want and making them liable. And since they have liability, they're going to be more strict on what people say, and they're just going to ban everyone and ban everything. So the law, in effect, does the opposite. Cool.
Is that what you want? Removing Section 230 protection? Is that your idea of?
No, it's retarded. You're going to have less free speech when you fucking.
Exactly.
It's like it doesn't make sense.
But that's what you get when you go begging daddy government to regulate daddy corporation, or mommy.
No. Ma Bell was removed. It worked fine. They fined Microsoft for screwing Netscape. The government every once in a while, rare occasion, actually does the right thing. And they have these laws in the books.
The exception that proves the rule.
They have anti-monopoly laws in the books, and they don't enforce them.
Yes, and you want them to. But look, there's better things than anti-monopoly laws. I agree with anti-monopoly laws. Go ahead. If something gets too big, knock them down. Sure. But here's the thing, man. I'll give you a better way. Would you like to hear a better way than using the government hammer? A better way that works. consistently around the world all the time, and you see it everywhere. And you're using it right now. Can I talk about it? Okay.
The internet.
No, I'm gonna hit you.
Decentralized systems.
No, yes, decentralized systems. You love decentralized systems, yeah. But let's talk.
I like one or two.
Yes, I'm gonna give you a third one that you're gonna like. Okay, I know you like it because you're using it right now. Okay, it's voice over IP. It's packet switching. Yes, it's the internet. So here's what happened. The government, since the 50s, tried and tried. It was there the whole time. And guess what? How much did a long distance phone call like we're doing now cost? You tell me.
But like, I think you're miscategorizing what we're actually doing.
No, hold on a second.
So I'm using closed source private software.
I want to be able to also go the other way, right? I love when you talk and I listen to what you're saying, right? But also I want you to answer my question, right? I have a simple question. How much did it cost 20 years ago when you were first coming up to do a long distance phone call, audio, not this video stuff, not the big, all the bits being pushed?
It was very expensive.
Right. Could we say like, how much was it? Like in your memory? I don't know.
It was like $2 a minute.
Okay. $2 a minute. Now, why do you think it was government that it happened that in 5 to 10 years, suddenly it went to almost zero? That's a huge difference, right? That we're doing right now. Skype, Zoom, almost zero. Why is that? I'm going to tell you why that is. And it is decentralized. It has nothing to do with Bitcoin. It has nothing to do with tokens. It has to do with the fact that the people who built Kazaa, okay, the people that built P2P protocols, file sharing networks that the government hates and wants to enforce the private, property, intellectual property of these MPAA, RIAA movies, whatever, hated that. These guys went clean and they made Skype. And Skype uses the same technology, but guess what they disrupted? The telecom industry. So for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, the government, as you say, wields its banhammer at the top, being like, oh, you're too big, Ma Bell. Let's make 5 corporations. Oh, AT&T, you're not big. You're not too big. That's fine. So no, instead of that, we have open source peer-to-peer networks like Skype. In 5 years, they took the price down to zero for the consumer.
Skype's not open source at all. What are you talking about? It's closed source as fuck.
Kazaa is not. Kazaa, the original.
Kazaa, no one uses. It's dead as shit. It hasn't been used for a decade.
BitTorrent's being used.
Yeah, but Kazaa wasn't BitTorrent.
Yeah, but so BitTorrent's the same thing. 30% of the internet traffic probably is BitTorrent.
Hey, bro, I download torrents, okay? I know what's up. So like,
you believe in your shit.
No, but you're miscategorizing what's happening. You're saying shit has like really worked well because it was open. But the things that have really worked well aren't open at all. Skype is not open at all.
Microsoft bought it.
Skype's ass, by the way.
How well is Skype doing at the moment?
I don't think they're doing well.
Right.
Based on adoption. Maybe they're doing well in profit.
My point isn't Skype. I just want to be clear. My point was the movement. In this case, it was the voice over IP movement. Okay. And my point is I've met the people behind it. I've met the guy behind BitTorrent. I've met the guy who says he created voice over IP. His name is Jeff. A lot of people.
But you know who else says they created VoIP?
Who?
The founder of Celsius.
Yeah, I know that. I met him too. I met him. I meet a lot of guys who are kind of full of themselves.
It's like, so let's talk about, you said that what we're using right now was free. And I'm going to say that what we're using right now is not free at all.
The protocols are free.
I'm using
free.
No, they're even not. Like,
really?
This shit doesn't use HTTP.
Yes.
So here's okay, what
so your web browser uses HTTP. Guess what? Another platform that took over the world, the web. You're using it. We're using it right now. It's free.
Why are you gish galloping me?
Go ahead.
Let me just list you my tech stack real quick.
Go ahead, please.
I'm using Windows, paid for product. We're probably talking on G729 codec and not Opus, which is a paid codec. So someone's probably making money on that. The video compression that we're using, if it's H.264, somebody pays for that. And it probably is, because that's what your CPU is allowed to accelerate internally. It doesn't support internal acceleration of X264, which is the open source version. Oh, by the way, did I mention that I know a fuckload about this? Because I know a fuckload about this.
That's why I have you on the show.
I was going to make a VoIP company.
But also,
so I know about licensing
you're going
codecs.
You're going way esoteric. Look how you had to go to 264 codec. And I'm talking about, yes,
this isn't esoteric. Everybody deals with this shit these days. Every single kid that does streams has to go into OBS and choose whether he's going to use X264 or H264 or the encoder that's built into NVIDIA.
I agree, but I work all day long with open technologies. The browser is
but I just listed you everything that has adoption that everyone actually uses is closed source as fuck.
No,
including H264,
you listed
including the H264. The thing that we're using right now that you accused of being open source is in fact closed source out the ass. I'm just showing you that what you're saying is wrong.
I think it's fair to say that there are some closed source components.
And my internet connection is also paid for from a private company, and then they connect and peer with other private companies, and it's all private and licensed out the ass. And there's very few actual open things. So you could say the web browser that we use to log in ran Apache.
Everything,
and it probably
okay. So for this to be productive, I think I need to be able to address what you're saying, right? Not just so. Here's
you and I conversation is 100% closed source as fuck. We're using Zoom on Windows with H264 and G729, and every single thing is licensed and closed source and paid for. Every fucking part of the stack. There's not a single part of the stack that's open source in between our conversation that I'm aware
of. You're totally wrong.
Except logging in on the website. The only place where open source
nothing to do with that
is website.
Every single thing you've listed is an esoteric like standard, which by the way is going to be.
That's all we're using.
Yeah.
Why didn't we use something other than fucking Zoom?
Look, it's like if I, for example,
who owns Zoom, by the way.
It's like, for example, if I said to you that I took a city bus, which by the way is not an example of completely open things, but I took a city bus to work, and you said, yeah, but did you also press a button in an elevator, and that elevator, whoops, that was privately owned? And then, like, yes, I'm not denying that there are privately owned things. I'm saying the vast majority of reasons why, when it was all privately owned, it was expensive, $2 a minute, and then 5 years later it was zero. 10 years later, the reason was not because suddenly that year the private industry decided, oh, let's just completely drop all the prices. It was because the alternative was open, permissionless protocols like Bitcoin, like Ethereum, which you used, like many other things that, yes, they charge money. I'm not saying they don't charge money. I am saying they don't have intellectual property restricting people from doing what they want with it. Freedom. They have freedom. And that's why we can.
But what you're saying is not true. You're misattributing the success of these things.
Go ahead.
We're using Zoom instead of Jabber or the other open source things that exist because those things suck and this thing doesn't because it's closed source. And we're using Windows instead of Linux. At least I'm pretty sure you are, because everyone does. Or you're maybe using a MacBook because they're closed source, not open source. And like every single thing that has adoption is closed source except serving up websites.
The web, let's go step by step. Is the web open source or closed source?
Which part of it? Audio streaming and video streaming is closed source.
Let's start with the front end part. I can see the HTML of pretty much any website. So clearly that's
open.
Okay. So do you know how many people learned HTML as teenagers? You probably did, right? When you're making your site.
Everyone did. Sure.
Okay. That's amazing. It unleashed a lot of wealth for the world, right? The ability to do that. Okay. Secondly, the web servers that you use. Which web servers do you use?
And you know, we use AWS. And AWS
you use AWS, but which
AWS
software?
Uses mostly Red Hat, but like
look at that. Red Hat.
Depends.
That's Linux,
I mean, sometimes
right?
we use I can't remember the other one.
Okay, so
we use Linux for all of our web serving needs. We use Linux. Just
great.
Like
so let's stay on this, okay? Because I do want to give you copious examples. I don't want to cop out here, right?
It's just web serving. Everything else is closed.
It's just web serving. It's just the platform that took over the entire world. Sure. Okay. So you got.
No, but it didn't. It's like, bro, where does everyone do their blogging now? They used to make their own blogs, and they used to have their own web hosts, and they used to sign up at web hosts. But then they stopped doing that. What did they start using? They started using WordPress. And then that was a plugin. And then they stopped using that and they just used WordPress.com. Yeah, WordPress is open source, but then everyone stopped using it and just uses WordPress.com instead.
Hold on a second. WordPress powers 40% of all websites in the world. Okay, not many people know this. No, hold on a second though. Hold on.
No one goes to the websites anymore.
4 out of
It's
10.
my point. I'm the one that points out how popular it is. Why are you taking this as a win for you? I know
Because
how
I'm
popular
trying.
it
What is WordPress? It's open freaking source.
Yes, that's right. And now no one uses it anymore.
No
it
one
powers 40%
This is
of the
the opposite
websites
of no
because
one.
there's no damn websites left.
Yes,
Everyone
there are.
uses centralized silos like fucking Medium.
So your
and fucking
position is there are no more
WordPress.com,
websites
because
on the
having a
world.
blog that no one goes to is
Wait.
useless.
Hold up. So your position is that there are no more websites like TechCrunch, New York Times, like all these are websites, right? All of these use WordPress. All of this is WordPress. You're saying they don't exist. What's that?
Those are aggregators that aggregate content from other places.
No, they have writers.
copy and-
I met my
and that as well.
starting this.
Sure, and that as well. Yeah, but how much writing is copy pasting someone else's story and paraphrasing it into your format?
It doesn't
how much of
matter.
this is
The web is
original?
about that. It's publishing. I'm saying freedom of information, right?
I'll give you very simple measurements. I have
Right.
richardhart.com, doesn't get any
Right.
fucking visitors. And then I've got my Twitter, which gets ass tons of visitors because
Mhm.
they
And you have
have
to
the
beg.
eyeballs.
And you have to
And
beg.
then I
them.
have Google, which gets lots of visitors.
You have to
And
beg
so I've
them.
got my website that no one gives a shit about. And then I've got Google and I've got Twitter, which people really give a shit about.
Yeah, because your
And so what
website,
I'm
I'm
pointing out to
sorry,
you is
just
my
like most-
website runs on open source software.
Yeah.
And the place where I actually get any fucking value out of other people digitally online is totally closed source as fuck.
But do you
So
understand
I
how
have
those
a
two are
website
different,
that I
right?
run on open source software.
But you
and it gets
understand how-
dominated.
Yeah, of course.
None gets no traffic and will never get any traffic.
Mhm.
And when I suck middleman D, I actually get something out of the world.
By the way, I just want to say that you are not living your ideal life, right? Because when you talk about Hex, when you talk about Ethereum, right? You talk about, I don't have to suck middleman D. I love decentralized. I love that no one can stop me and it's permissionless.
Yeah, and we're
In that
lucky that
world.
we could have it there. We're
Yeah,
lucky.
and
if
guess what? We
had
can have it.
If we had net neutrality laws, we might be able to get it other places too.
Okay, but
But
hold on.
until you break up these fucking monopolies, you're not going to outcompete them. And if you try to, they'll just buy you.
Richard, when Bitcoin started and Ethereum started, they didn't wait for the government to break up the banking monopolies or anything. What they did is simply put out some open source software and walked away. Satoshi did that.
So
and then
so run a Mastodon instance and call it a fucking win and let me know how it goes.
No, Mastodon's a beginning.
We have open
Matrix
source
is better.
Twitter.
Matrix is better, but I'll tell you this.
Cool. I guarantee that shit has no users in 5 years too. This shit's super hard. You just
Okay,
they're not.
fine. Again, dude, you need to let me ask you some questions. Okay,
Let me ask you a question.
it's my show after all, isn't
What
it?
is ramping?
Or at least
I don't think I've wasted any of your time. You're just mad because I'm like knocking them out
no.
of
I
the
just
park.
want the same thing from you that you want from
What's
me. Right?
what's
To answer my
ramping up
question.
faster? What's ramping up faster? People running their own WordPress installations or people using Medium?
You're talking about
One's going down, one's going up.
Oh, Medium.
One's dying and one's getting more users.
dying, dude. Medium is like a rounding error compared to WordPress. Are you kidding me? Medium. Okay, let's do this. Medium versus WordPress, like installation. Like, okay, WordPress. Actually, I have it right here. WordPress, let's see, is 40% of all websites. Wix, 2.3%. Okay, Shopify.
E-commerce is not.
Okay, fine.
Most people
Wix
don't
is
set
not
up
e-commerce.
e-commerce stores.
Wix is not e-commerce, right? Wix is your favorite middleman who's like, it's like GeoCities, right? It's like,
If you want to believe that WordPress is killing it and ignore all the links that you've seen on social and read recently, and look, even Medium is drawing down a bit, but like it's if you think the world's getting more open instead of more closed, you're fucking crazy.
no, the world is getting a little more closed because people like yourself who don't see the big picture. I want to show you.
I have my own website that I run on my own server. What the fuck?
Yeah,
do
but
you
I'm
want from
sorry,
me,
it
bro?
sucks.
I fucking linked to it. Like,
Dude,
what else do you
I
want me
went
to
there.
do?
I went
What
there.
else do you want me to do?
I'm sorry, it sucks also. Like you know, it's not that great.
Yeah.
It talks about
Okay.
you, and it's great that you're a force for good in the world. But honestly, like, bro, this is not what I would watch every day.
Yeah. No shit. Why
Like, why
would I ever make it better when it has no fucking views?
I'm not talking about personal. Yeah, good. You're talking about Web 1.0. You have a Web 1.0 website. Great for you. Yes.
I have some other websites too. But like, look, I don't get it. Why are you trying to convince me that the world is open when you want to make it more open because it's not open enough?
Because
You're having
normally,
internally
okay.
discongruent arguments with yourself.
Because Richard, I think the
the world is getting more
since this
closed,
is-
not more open. You're trying to fix it. So why are you arguing with me about its current state? You
I'm
know it's too
arguing-
closed already.
Okay, I'm arguing with you because this is fundamental to everything we do. Okay, you're on my side when it comes to Ethereum, Bitcoin, and a lot of other things. You're on
I
my
agree
side
with
when it comes to
agree
freedom
with
of speech.
everything that you're on side of. I wish that we had more open source. Look, I'll solve this shit for you. We already have BitTorrent. BitTorrent works great. What's the big problem with BitTorrent? There's no fucking discovery. So they keep banning the sites that list the trackers, which show you where the free shit is that you can download. And so you have to go to these fucked up websites that try and give you malware and try and make money on shitty advertisements because they keep being attacked because the government keeps attacking them. So you can't have a good tracker. And so they didn't stop the BitTorrent technology. The BitTorrent technology works fine. What they stopped was you being able to find what's available to you. They stopped it on the tracker side.
Mhm.
And so
They tried that with Bitcoin,
solve,
Ethereum, many other things too. They try to stop your ability to get money into it, out of it. There's a lot of things they will try to do. But Richard, I don't need you to solve this for me. I'm trying to have a conversation where, trust me, I've been doing it.
You could do the same thing for social shit. The problem isn't your ability to distribute data. Your problem is the ability to discover the fucking data. We don't have a distribution problem. We have a discovery problem.
You're not gonna look. This is the thing. It's like as if I talked to you about Hex and the things that you did for the last 6 years, and I told you, I'll solve it for you, man. I'm not talking about the bridge. I will solve that for you. I hope. But I'm talking about
IPFS solves half this shit anyway, by the way.
Yeah, it does. I love the IPFS guys. And you know who's better than IPFS, by the way? It's Made Safe. I don't know if you've heard of those guys.
Yeah, they've been around for a little while, buddy. Weren't
Yep.
they the second ICO in history?
2006, actually, before
I think they were right after Mastercoin.
Look at this.
Mastercoin and then Made Safe.
So by the way, they are a pioneer, just like you. When Uniswap came out, you were one of the first tokens on Uniswap. Hex was one of the first tokens on Uniswap. And these guys are predate Bitcoin, my friend. They started in 2006, okay? And they simply did an ICO in 2013. So yeah, Mastercoin. Before Ethereum, there were these guys. So yeah, I know these guys.
I know.
Yeah.
I was there.
Yeah, so was I. I love this stuff. Dude, so it's as if I was trying to lecture you about Hex. Okay.
But why would you think that these guys are better than IPFS? You can't get better.
Oh, I can get into the reason.
You're hashing the content and then people can fucking find it and store it. Like, what do you want?
Because it's autonomous and you don't know who's hosting it, so you can't take it down. It's like Freenet.
Yeah, but that's the same as IPFS. Oh, well, okay. So you're saying it has a built-in Tor kind of router in it?
You don't know. Yes, you don't know the IP addresses that you can DDoS easily, right? And take things down.
Okay, well then you need to add a Tor layer to IPFS.
Yeah,
cool.
Tor doesn't exactly.
It's all open source.
No, Tor is when you have one website and they find you. And look at Silk Road; they found the guy. Look, Tor is not.
You know how they found the guy?
Doesn't matter.
The
Tor
guy used his email address to promote the thing.
Sure, but Tor does
his fucking personal email address with his name in it.
Do you think that? Okay, are you willing to host some kind of really bad website?
Nope.
On Tor?
I'm not going to host an exit node. Thanks.
Thank you.
I'm not getting any weird letters.
So dude, so when the rubber meets the road, you agree with me. Tor.
No, but this shit still works though. You can still, somebody's doing it.
Yeah, if the adversary is not a state actor, sure. Yeah, it works. If your next door neighbor's not going to know who you are, great.
No, but I mean, even against state actors, Tor has held up pretty well. They just have to detect when they're honeypotting it with a bunch of their own fake exit nodes.
Also, they don't tell you. They're not going to tell you. Why would they give it away?
No, but you catch it in the indictments. You catch it in the indictments.
NSA is not going to give away the whole game. It takes a Snowden or someone.
NSA is not your threat model.
Well, they help. The Five Eyes, the Australia, they will spy on you.
Yeah, they don't want to blow their exploit on a small dude like you.
Exactly, bro.
They can save it for some evil motherfucker.
But the point is they have the means, okay? And again, Made Safe is something they don't have the means to do because Made Safe is no one's behind it. It's decentralized. There's no Tor node that's hosting somewhere. There is no host. It's literally, you can have as many seeds as you want. It's the BitTorrent of the world. You like BitTorrent?
I'm going to take Tor over Made Safe because it's been attacked more. I would feel the Tor.
That's a good argument. Uniswap's been battle tested. Like there are things legitimately that's a good argument for. But let's go back to what we're saying because I'm going to give you like, I don't know, 10 examples of like the largest things in the world that are open source. Okay, let me start with this. Wikipedia. Okay, we've talked about WordPress. We've talked about Linux that powers pretty much everything, including your Android. Everything's based.
I think Wikipedia is wildly successful.
Okay, let me ask you this question: when was the last time you used Expedia or Britannica?
Never.
Remember Britannica? That was the best.
20 years ago.
But what about Britannica?
Yeah, I remember it.
Remember?
They killed it.
So hold on a second.
Wikipedia killed it.
So, okay, so wait a second. So the shining example of capitalism sold door to door, Britannica, right, got killed by an open source freaking site that anyone can edit, really?
Yep.
Yep. So wait a second. So I'm right. So open source does take over.
In almost on a counted on one hand number of places, open source is one. Yes.
Oh yeah. Okay. So let's count on one hand the entire web. Okay. WordPress. Okay.
If by the entire web you mean HTTP and Apache.
Yes. Open protocols. That's how the. Okay, do you know what the alternative to the? You know what?
And you could say email did very well. That's open, kind of.
Now you're getting it. Of course, email killed. Email killed.
Email's not. Here's the thing. Email's not really open though. It's try and run your own email server and watch your shit not get delivered.
Right. It's a first generation.
And then you have to suck middleman D to get delivery.
No, there is things that
you buy a server and your IP is already pre-blacklisted. You're like, hey, you sold me a server pre-blacklisted. I can't fucking email anyone.
Look, Google has everyone's email at this point, because if you're the sender and you don't have Google, guess what? The recipient does.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I read that thread.
Yeah. So
I read that Hacker News thread. I tweeted it.
Good.
I already tweeted that shit.
It's not about you. It's not about me. I'm talking about the substance, right? The substance.
No, but I don't want you to fall into the trap that I feel that you're going to fall into. You're a smart technologist guy that wants to make the world better, and so you think the answer is technology. But guess what? It's not.
A big part of
we have the technology we need. Just no one's fucking using it. You just listed an ICO from 2013. You just said it was good. No one knows about that shit.
That's different. I'm not saying
the technology. No, I'm saying the technology exists. We have a problem with discovery. We don't have a problem with technology.
I agree with you.
Make a goddamn WordPress site.
No. But this is what I'm saying. We do have a problem with technology. But the web server you probably use, which is, for example, Nginx, okay, took 10 years for a guy in Russia, Igor Sosoyev, who worked for a for-profit corporation, Rambler. He decided to make this thing, give it away. It took 10 years for him to make a commercial company. By that time, the web server took over, okay? So MySQL took 7 years for the Swedish guys, okay, before they sold Oracle.
So basically, MySQL got killed by Postgres, and I think
open source
might have even been replaced as well.
They're both open source. I mean, you're arguing one open source takes over for another open source. My point is this: if you let the thing run long enough, everything we're using, from the back end software to the front end software, literally everything, except for the desktop computer, your phone, the very things that you talk about is closest to the user that makes the most money. You're right. There's a big.
I mean, you could try and argue that Android's open source, but I'm not really sure it is.
I'm not going to argue that. I'm saying it's based on Linux, which is open source. We agree on that. Here's what I'm trying to say. Okay, the information.
I'm not anti-open source. I'm just telling you that you need more promotion of using it and less fucking actually making a new thing. You'd be better off.
I love that I agree with you. We should promote open source more, but open source has to actually not suck. We agree on everything. You're just coming at
for web serving. It doesn't suck.
Not only for web serving. I am saying, literally, just hear me out for 10 seconds without interrupting. No, 10 seconds. Okay. Science is open source, gives it away. Wikipedia is open source, gives it away. WordPress is open source. Linux is open source. Your web servers are open source. Literally everything that the voice over IP protocols are open source. Ethereum is open source. Bitcoin is open source. Literally everything that's decentralized, BitTorrent, everything that has helped the world and didn't restrict people from using it, like IP, like patents, like indeed AOL. You've got mail, except you can't build Facebook on top of AOL. Google, Facebook, Amazon would never exist if not for the permissionless open web, because they could run a web server, they could start a company. You can't start a company when instead of Mark Zuckerberg, you got, who is it, Steve Case? You've got mail. Sure, but you know what, Facebook, we're going to deplatform you because we could build our own social network on top. And they did. So yeah, keyword Facebook is not my thing.
You know, science is actually closed source because of publishing.
Science is closed source.
They're trying to fix that.
They're
using torrents to try and fix that.
Right. Science is captured.
But science is kind of screwed right now.
Yeah. Science is captured by for-profit Excelsior, your model. You love intellectual property. Excelsior should be able to charge people for information, right?
Monopoly. I don't like monopolies, man.
So why do you like intellectual property monopolies?
I don't. I don't like monopolies at all. I think creators need to be rewarded to align incentives to keep creating. I think founders need to be rewarded to align incentives to keep founding. And I think that companies need to be rewarded for meritocracy and let the better company win. And so I'm for competition and I'm for capitalism.
I'm completely for all those things. Competition.
And sometimes
you don't need
sometimes
capitalism.
Open source can win and sometimes it can't. And
Usually,
and it's like
literally in everything I just told you, information on the web itself, Linux, the things that power everything in your everything.
Yes, the 4 things you told me about did well.
I can give you 20
the number of other
don't
things
interrupt
that
me.
are not
I can
open.
give you 100 things. The fact is that in the end of the day, the reason why it's cheap, the reason why it's free for us to talk is because an open source protocol, a bunch of them make up voice over IP. I agree that there's little patented things in there.
That's not true. Everyone uses the closed source version. Everyone uses G729 instead of Opus. Everyone uses H.264 instead of X.264.
Yeah, because
even
those
fucking
little
Google uses the closed source shit, which is why they're trying to push you to use VP9 instead.
Dude,
like
what
the
I'm trying to
world
say
is
is, yes,
totally
the
closed
codex.
source for this
So
argument.
you're down
We need
to
drop this argument. Wikipedia is an infinitely better argument than the VoIP argument.
Fine,
The VoIP
that's
argument
the
is
Wikipedia
stupid. It's all
argument.
closed source.
My point is that you're saying, why would people do
Wikipedia
anything?
Wikipedia uses their own open source software to host their own shit. They Wikipedia is a vastly better example than VIP. VIP
Fine,
is a terrible
whatever.
example.
I'm not talking about just one website that happens to have killed all the capitalist Wikipedia encyclopedias, and you don't use them, but you use Wikipedia every day. People do.
But there's other ones. Like you could say the Chan software that all the Chans use is open. You could say there's a lot of other open protocols.
Yes.
It's fine. Like I
not
support
just fine.
that.
It's good. It's the thing that moves the world forward. That's what I'm saying.
I use why am I having to argue against open source? I like it. I use it.
Thank you, because you love to argue.
No, it's the nuance. If you say something's good, but then you promote people make more of the good shit instead of promote what they already have, you've misallocated your resources. We don't need new Linuxes and we don't need new email protocols.
No, but guess what? We do need
new
more
BitTorrents. We need motherfuckers to make it more discoverable and
not just more discoverable. Okay, so here I'm gonna talk shill a little bit about what I do, because I think up until now I haven't said a lick about what I do. Okay. You've made Richard Hart. It's a Web 1.0 site. I think we will agree, right? There's no Web 2.0 shit. There's no chat. There's no nothing. Okay.
Nothing.
Now, why is that? Why do you think that is? Why was it? Do you think it's because you just chose to not make it interactive, or because there were no tools to do it?
The only reason I made that website was so that I would win more imposter arguments when the people where I actually get my traffic from, which is Twitter, would make imposters of me. And
well,
so
I would hope
when
so.
I
Because
try and say, hey, I'm the real Richard Hart, can you stop these fucking imposters? Like my website only exists actually because I tried to get better reputation with where I actually get my traffic, which is social media.
Which, by the way, is open source certificate chain SSL technology, which actually securely cryptographically proves that you are running it and not some other guy hijacked it, right?
And that's not what that does at all.
It's right here.
No one clicks the security box. And if they did, no one would know the difference between a man in the middle attack security and not. Like that's the biggest security theater. SSL is the biggest fucking joke. It's so hilarious. You don't know if you're being man in the middle or not. You have no idea. And unless you click that box, you don't have any hope of ever knowing. And no one ever clicks that box.
Not only that.
SSL is a scam.
Well, not only that, if you want to go that far, Web3 is a scam in that case, because if now, they could improve it. But right now, if I connect and I say a MetaMask.
You want to know how many times I've had
dude, let me finish a sentence and then sure. What I'm trying to say is this: on MetaMask, when I try to execute a transaction, right? It doesn't tell me which contract I'm going to be interacting with. It just says here, I'm gonna like buy whatever.
It doesn't. I'm pretty sure it does in your confirmation screen.
No, I'm going to show you the confirmation screen right now. So let's say I want to buy some tiny amount of something. Okay.
Yeah.
And then, oh, I can't. I don't have any ETH in here. Anyways, you know what it tells you? It says this website wants you to do this transaction. Oh, what's the transaction going to do? What contract is it going to interact with?
Yeah, sure. I mean, look, I think it's going to give you the contract address, but you have to decode your own hex code shit. At least.
And again, yeah, that's like your point about SSL. It's like, who's going to do that shit? But
if it did show you, then it would just leave open an attack vector for people to spoof it to make it look safe, and then it's not safe anyway. It's not. That's not a solvable. That's a very hard to solve. It's like their token lists. How do you know you have the real ticker symbol? Because they're using token lists that are trusted.
Yeah, you're trusting
the token list when you type a ticker symbol there instead of pasting a contract.
So
code.
I think that's
you could paste a contract code, by the way. You don't
That's-
have to use those token lists. You could paste the contract code.
You
So this
could,
is another example of what I'm saying. The technology exists to solve the problem that you're talking about, but you're not advertising the right way to do it. I'm telling you that you can post contract addresses into Uniswap and you'll know exactly, well, at least you'll have, you'll hope that the DApp does what you want it to. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's hard to solve this stuff.
2021, they hacked some site that like, you know, sent like bogus transactions and withdrew everyone's money.
Do you know how many takedown requests I've got for my servers for hosting a Uniswap front end?
I can only imagine.
All the time. It's a phishing. No, it's not, asshole. It's an open source project. We're hosting an open source project. Here's the
No,
fucking
I'm saying I
open
can
source
only
code.
imagine.
Yeah, it's
Why am I
terrible.
asking?
No, I'm not
Right.
talking to you. I'm talking
Yeah.
about the people that send these fucking. I'm tired of getting complaints like, "Hey, it's irritating," you know.
Yeah, dude, but that's what you're.
If you host
You know how
a
the most
Uniswap front
effective
end, they're
way I
going
can
to
get your
say that
website.
you're phishing.
You know, if I wanted to get your website shut down, the most effective way would be intellectual property.
Complain.
Just intellectual property. Just call up Amazon, which you use, right? And they have
Nope.
to.
That's not on Amazon.
Well, okay, good, good. But I'm just trying to tell you, for example, I could call up the company, right? Hosting company. and
I'm-
say,
I am
oh, you're hosting
familiar-
pirated content. Oh, I'm opening a dispute under the, what is
Uh-huh.
it? Millennium Digital Copyright Act. Oh, that's great.
Yep.
Intellectual property for the
DMCA.
win.
Digital Millennium, whatever the fuck.
DMCA, right. That's exactly what I said, except
Mhm.
different order. But my
Yes, it
point
is.
is, intellectual property lobby got the government to make a little bit of a, compromise and say, you can take sites down. Remember this? ICE?
So let me
Sounds like-
ask you a question. When someone makes all these fake scam actual phishing sites that I see,
Yeah.
shouldn't we have a method by which to attempt to stop that shit?
Of course we should. Would you like to find out a little more about the solutions?
This is like you complaining about noise laws. You're like, I want to make as much noise as I can. Also, I hate how much noise my neighbor makes.
No, because the internet doesn't have neighbors. There's no violence. I can't kill a person.
There is.
Okay,
Dude, I have
can
people getting
dude,
phished all the
dude,
time.
okay, when's the last time somebody got killed over the internet?
No, but getting your life savings jacked through phishing sucks.
Yes, and that's why
lot.
you shouldn't. Yes.
And how do we attack phishers?
These are all solvable problems, my friend. You don't need government to prevent phishing. You can't. Government's not gonna. How much spam is there? Dude, you should know. You've been in the spam business in the beginning. You should know.
Oh, what is this? What is this presupposition that we have here? Just because I was sued for $500 in civil court.
No, I'm not talking
one
about
of the first people in the world for spamming.
I'm not talking about
Yeah.
being sued. Listen, I don't want to, in the end, I would love to ask you about like before you were 26, how you retired, right? But like, dude, you were bragging about spamming.
Nope.
I'm not talking about the government.
Nope. You fell for a Joe Job email. A Joe Job email is when a spammer wants to attack you and they
Yeah.
include as much personal information and offensive information in the email as possible. And then dumb fucks for 20 years, that was 20 years ago, literally count them. 20 fucking years later, a dumb fuck will get on a live stream with you and tell you that, in fact, you did what was in the Joe Job. So
Okay,
no,
wait,
if I
this
were
is good.
advertising
So
for
this is
people to
actually good because I
spam,
wasn't
wouldn't
gonna-
include my social security number, my address, 2 phone numbers. Doesn't make any fucking sense, does it?
Well, dude, I don't want to.
Have you
I
ever
don't want to-
received a fucking spam mail with someone's social
Is
security
it okay?
number
I need your
before?
permission. Nobody sees the screen anyway, so I'm just gonna show you. Okay,
Yeah, go ahead. I remember the woof, I'll teach you how to spam Joe Job fucking email.
Yeah, that's what I
20
wanna
years
ask
ago.
about.
I remember it, yes.
No, but I
remember
I
it
went a little
well.
further. I went a little further than that. Okay, I wanted to look at the Florida Division of Corporation and the actual Efficient
Mhm.
Systems Inc. that
Yes.
you. Okay, so here you do
Efficient
have your.
Systems.
So here you do in fact have your phone number. In fact, I don't want to show this.
Yes.
You changed your phone
correct.
number, right? Can I show this? Can
Yep, you can
Okay.
show everything you want.
Okay. So yeah, you have here, it's your handwriting, like this is your signature,
not
this
my
is your phone
handwriting.
number. You literally started this company.
That was the company's phone number, yes.
Just talk about what. the
Yes, if
company
you,
did.
so Efficient Systems was my internet marketing master's company where we did search engine optimization, pay-per-click management, later on some website design.
Yeah.
Before that, you can look up Audio Ecstasy, which was my car stereo store. And then you can look up my Miracle Cleaner, which was called Wibout, which was under Optimum Life Products or Premium Life Products, something Life Products. And then you can look up my mortgage company, which was called Opulend. And then you can look up my
That makes sense.
my-
I mean, I know
my-
you've done all those things, but the question is, did you also recruit people to spam? Back then, there was no
oh,
anti-spam
you're
laws.
so stupid.
I'm
You were
asking.
smart up until now. Let's read
Just
this real
asking.
quick. Okay.
How would I know? I'm asking you, right?
Let's scroll down real quick. Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
You're so fucking dumb right here. Let me read this to you. Scroll up, scroll up, scroll up. When in the life of your fucking entire life have you received an email with 20 websites, a corporate registration number, an employee list, and 5 phone numbers in your whole fucking goddamn life?
So how do you
not once in your whole fucking life have
Who
you
did
received
this?
such an orgy
Somebody
of
wanted-
evidence in your fucking life?
No, fine, dude. You don't have to.
So why don't you just Google what a Joe job is?
Let's do it.
It's like a false flag attack. There you go. Very easy. It's even on Wikipedia.
Yeah. So
yeah. So you fall for a Joe job and then try and fuck me in my ass 20 years later doing.
Oh, I'm not trying to fuck you at all.
Spammer,
I didn't even want to bring it up.
Look bad.
I don't want to bring it up. Okay, so you didn't engage in spam. I'm just asking.
No.
Dude, I don't know.
You've
never made it clear.
For $500 in civil court.
So you've heard
an
of
actual spammer.
So
an actual spammer spammed that shit to every news agency they could find.
Why would
I found out who fucking did that, by the way.
Okay, do you want to talk about it or not?
A piece of shit spammer did that.
Okay. So why would they target
because you can analyze. As always, I've always bragged about good shit that I've been doing. And when you brag about good shit you're doing and how you're beating everyone else's ass and how your company's the best company and how everything you do is the best, motherfuckers attack you.
So everything on this thing sounds like you, except one thing, which is, I think, so there's bad spelling. I don't think you would put this out.
You can just look up, you can blueprint.
Literally everything though, the self-aggrandizement, everything that is like, everything sounds like you. I'm not saying it is you, but I'm saying it just sounds, they made it sound like, this is like young you.
This is so stupid. Okay. Here's how you tell the difference between reality and fiction on the internet.
How?
I did a single video on YouTube when I was volunteering for the Sense Foundation, the same Sense Foundation that I raised $27.5 million for, the same Sense Foundation that Vitalik Buterin gave $8 million+ to, the same Sense Foundation that Peter Thiel is donated to, the same Sense Foundation. I did a single video on YouTube thanking YouTube for giving us a charity URL of SENS. This would have been in 2006, 2007. Then a bunch of dumb assholes.
Wait, back then you were already supporting SENS back then. That's really
2006 and 7. Yes,
that's really cool.
One of the first people in the world.
But wait, SENS started by Aubrey de Grey when?
Correct. 2 or 3 years before that. So like 2003, 2004.
I just like to get into the substance. That's all. I'm not here to.
Yeah.
I asked your permission.
No, but this is an important concept. This is an important concept. If you don't use your critical thinking, you are going to fall for scams on the internet. You just fell for a Joe job from a spammer to try and make me look evil, and you fell for it.
I didn't try. First of all,
that's not the only one.
I just want to be clear.
That's not the only Joe job out there.
My point was to ask you about it. That's a different.
I'm gonna tell you all about it.
Yeah.
This email that you showed me says that if you give me money, I'll teach you how to spam. And where the fuck is the sales pitch for that? Where's the website for that? Where's the screenshot for that? What's the program called? What does it cost?
Good point.
It's made up fantasy fucking bullshit. And I've seen the same fantasy bullshit for selling anti-aging scams. Where's this anti-aging scam that I used to sell? And where the fuck is its price point? It's made up fantasy fucking bullshit. I never sold anti-aging shit, not once in my fucking life. All I ever did was volunteer for an anti-aging charity.
I understand, but wait, I just have.
I used to live in Panama.
I
used to live in Panama, and I used to wear a hat. And I see people posting pictures of some fucking guy named Bill the Murderer or Bill the Butcher, whatever the fuck this guy's name is. And because he had a hat and a beard, people go, "Oh, well, Richard was killing people down in Panama."
Dude, I'm not.
This shit is fucking.
I'm not interested in your
offensive to me.
I agree. And listen,
yeah. So if you're going to accuse me of spamming or selling spam courses, I want to see the fucking website for selling the spam courses. Show me the fucking Wayback Machine. And if I'm going to be accused of murdering people, well, then who's this other fucking guy that doesn't have my face that actually did it and was convicted? And if I'm accused of selling anti-aging fucking pills, I want to see the price and the name of the pill. What was it called? I'm tired of this fantasy fucking attack shit. It's disgusting.
I think that's good.
And this is 20 years old. 20 years old.
Dude, I think that you should be clear about it, that it wasn't me. That's, I think that is the message here.
No, 20 years ago, a Joe jobbing, spamming piece of shit fucking attacked me and put my company address and my phone number and a bunch of like bullshit in an email to try and make people angry at me. And 20 years later, they're still fucking angry. What an amazing, effective system this has been.
It's
Awesome.
not that. It's simply when people do, you know what investigative journalists actually do when they talk to people, right? They do their
I
research.
do, because they call me to do investigate, and they're always retarded, and they ask the dumbest questions, and all they really care about is I got called about the FTX guy. Hey, do you know anyone that works over at FTX? Do you know what kind of drugs he was taking? I did know what kind of drugs he was taking, because I fucking saw the photos of him on his desk. And, you know, I was able to help him with that. But what he wanted to hear about was the sex and the interpersonal shit. He didn't care about the money. He didn't care about the crypto. He cared about the personality.
Yeah, guess why? Because there's a profit motive.
Lost everything.
His company has to make
because
the
reporters
money.
suck. Because they suck. They
No,
care
that's
about
what
the wrong
sells, right?
shit.
So if you're going to have a for-profit news industry, they're going to care about controversy. That's what they're going to.
FTX.
Yeah.
FTX got articles written about it. I didn't get articles written about me. I saved everyone, warned everyone. No one gave a fuck about me.
I agree.
The guy that ruined everyone. Let's talk about that guy.
By the way, dude. First of all, I'm glad you didn't do this. Secondly, we agree on 80% of things, and I would say 10% we disagree simply because you don't like how I put things, like ownership versus control, or how you're talking about, you know, oh, we kind of agree. It's just we need to promote.
It's the most offensively written email that you could dream.
I agree. The one, you know what offended me the most? I don't care about this whole spamming the government thing or whatever. I'm telling you that I don't care, but here's what I cared about. This sounded like you, bro. The people are sheep.
Oh yeah, dude. Totally. I
That's
don't say stupid shit like that.
Dude, you don't think people are sheep? You always say, I'm the best, I'm awesome, people are stupid.
It depends on the people. It depends on what set you're looking at. If I go to Harvard, everyone's smarter than me. But
okay,
it's like,
that's the first humble thing I've heard you say.
Well, yeah, because I'm in this to save people, and I can only save people if they fucking listen. And they don't listen unless you beat their ass with name dropping and success dropping and humble bragging and normal bragging, and you've got to really punch them in the fucking head to get them to listen.
Wait, bro,
because everyone else, they don't listen.
See my face? I just want to say, can you see my face?
Yeah, I see your face. Right. Yeah.
The reason I'm kind of rolling my eyes.
But my viewers
I've seen Donald Trump do it badly. Oh, thank you for telling
the guy that became president with no previous history in government. You're gonna like shit talk his style.
No, I'm saying this. Look, you don't have to tell. Linus Torvalds is an arrogant guy, but he doesn't have to tell people how awesome he is. Steve Jobs doesn't have to tell people how awesome he is. You are awesome. You don't literally. Why do you put on your site, I'm awesome? Like, yes.
It works. It works. Why do you think when people fucking make rap songs, they put their own name in the rap songs and speak in the third person constantly? Hey, Pitbull, Mr. 305.
You are literally, like I started to say in the beginning of the show.
Yes,
this is going to be like a rap.
Works.
This is going to be like, you're like a rapper.
Works.
Yes.
It's the same.
Rappers are not exactly the most idolized people. I mean, yes, Kanye is
they kind of are up there.
Yeah, so
if you're not playing sports or rapping,
that.
maybe you're a musician or an actor, but they're up there.
Okay, so have you ever heard of this lady, Dolores C. Tucker?
Nope.
Okay.
She probably never talked about how cool she was.
No,
she's done a better job.
This is the thing about it. Gangster rap, okay, in my opinion, ruined a generation.
I've heard of Tupac.
Yeah, I know. You've heard of Tupac, and I've listened to his songs, and he was a talented guy. But guess what?
I'm just saying that talking about yourself beats not talking about yourself if you're trying to build a brand.
Yeah, I get it, dude. But okay, we're talking about influences on society the whole time, right? That's what I'm interested in. I'm talking about how the capitalist music industry found the people who were actually shooting other people or in those environments, okay? And they promoted them to just normal, like, let's say, Black kids in suburban America who may have a father, maybe not, or their parents are working again because they have to work because everything costs a lot and they leave their kids at home. And what happens? The kid listens to this, he sees people look like him. It's not an accident they chose Black role models. They didn't choose Chinese ones, and then Chinese people kids would be affected. My point is, what has been the effect of gangster rap on so many kids that were influenced by models and bottles, and gang violence is glorified, and misogynist lyrics and materialistic stuff? You have the materialism too. I'm not saying to that extent, but why are you taking a page from an industry that ruined a generation? You want to clean people up. You want to help them. And this industry, rap, actually hurt a lot of people, I would say.
Okay. One, for someone that advertises against top-down censorship, you're doing exactly what you advise people against.
I'm not advocating.
Two, because of people use a tactic doesn't make the tactic evil. Rappers use cars. politicians use cars, freedom fighters use cars, jackbooted thugs use cars. The issue is not the force multiplier or the technology. The issue is the intent and the outcome. And so, people that suck comb their hair. Well, I actually don't comb my hair, as you can see. So like, you made a couple logical fallacies there. One is top down. Other people chose this thing and I don't like it, so this thing sucks.
I didn't advocate to eliminate the gangster rap. I'm just simply saying.
No, but you're just saying that I wish people. I agree that children will follow paths that they see available to them, and if the only paths available to them that are advertised to them are violence and drugs, we're going to see more violence and drugs. However, if their fucking violence and drug music sounds better, you're not going to win the war and just be like, all right, everyone listen to Christian music now.
No, but
Christian
the market
music,
system,
by and large, isn't as good.
That's your religion is the market system. You're saying basically also a little bit. On the one hand, you're saying regulate the market, but on the other hand, you're saying, well,
no, not regulate the market for competition and freedom, not regulate it for less of those things.
I agree with
most
you.
Regulations,
I'm not here to suppress.
Most regulations prevent competition.
I don't want the government.
Some regulations enhance competition.
So like, I don't want the government to suppress gangster rap, but in your own family, in your own communication, why would you borrow? I'm not talking, it's different than you're driving a car.
It really depends. It's like,
driving a car is different.
Where you kill shit all the time, and I've never killed anything.
Right, but I'm saying, I agree, but I'm saying you're borrowing elements of bragging about yourself, putting other people down, the combative elements, right? And I'm saying, you're saying that works. Yeah, it works. It works for Andrew Tate, right? It works.
No, but like what you're saying is so easily disproven. God himself and the 10 Commandments wrote Mimi rap. The majority of the 10 Commandments is him talking about how fucking cool he is. I am the only God, thy true God.
Yeah, because if that's true, then he is the true God.
Images.
Right.
Half of the fucking commandments aren't even commandments. They're just him talking shit about how cool he is himself.
So you're comparing yourself to God?
I'm telling you that self-referential promotion, which God does in the 10 Commandments, which rappers do in their songs, which companies do in their homepages and advertisements, and which I do on my website and social media, has been proven effective for thousands of years.
So just to summarize what you're saying,
you can be mad at it, but it works.
No, I'm not. It's not. I'm simply saying you want to act like God, and you want to tell. You basically want to say that I am awesome. I'm the best in the world at all these things, and you guys suck.
This logical fallacy of yours is because it's made of a thing, it has the property of the thing it's made of.
No, I'm literally asking you, like,
because a person uses a tactic. Just
like,
because a person uses a tactic doesn't mean that you are trying to.
Okay, look.
If God used pencils and I use pencils, it doesn't mean I'm trying to act like God. If rappers and God talk about themselves,
I think there's a different category here between you, a human, and God, for example. Okay,
I'm pointing out that for thousands of years, self-referential promotion has been proven successful. And so you know what else adopt it and use it, or you can play or hate it and die in obscurity like C. Dolores Tucker.
Okay, but I'm trying to ask you, don't you think it's more useful when other people use your shit and talk about you? You don't have to talk about yourself. There's a lot of people.
But Donald Trump was the best example of no one used his shit. No one liked his shit. He wasn't particularly good at business. He wasn't particularly good with the chicks. Yeah. He was fucking creepy. But then because he talked so much shit about himself, they gave him so much free press, he fucking won. So yes, a guy became president off of shit talking.
So let me just get this straight.
That fucking happened. By the way, Conor McGregor isn't the world's best fighter, but he's one of the best paid ones through shit talking. And so yes, shit talking is very fucking profitable.
I got it. Yes, if you're a fighter, you do shit talking. But dude, can I just be honest? And I don't mean
everybody
in a personal way. Okay, I don't mean this in a personal way. I'm talking about the tactic. To a lot of people, it looks try hard and desperate and pathetic. You do so much good in the world. You don't need to say it. People, okay, so this is the thing.
These are $40,000 of glowing Louis Vuitton bags.
Do you see Vitalik doing it? Do you see Steve Jobs doing it? Do you see Elon Musk doing it? Do you see?
But that's so dumb. You don't remember the shit he did before he got famous.
Okay, what did Vitalik do before he got famous?
Shit, it was insane.
What did Vitalik talk shit about himself? What?
Vitalik's fucking weird, bro. Can we be serious?
Steve Jobs
not a normally
talked about himself, how awesome he is, right? He talked about ideas like fonts, like he went to college, like he talked about his life. He talked about how the Mac is awesome and ideas are awesome. He never talked about how he's the shit.
Bro, I have a whole couple of self-help books that are like 600 or 700 pages fucking long total, the two of them,
Yeah.
that you could go read, where I don't talk about myself at all.
Good.
Or you can go watch my earliest YouTube videos where I don't talk about myself at all. And no one reads my books, and no one watches my earliest videos because this shit didn't work. So I upgraded to shit that does work, and now everyone listens and watches.
Wait, so you're saying you weren't always like this? Because I don't know.
No, because I rotated into what
This
works,
is all-
and you're trying to advertise to do what doesn't work.
So all this.
And by the
stuff,
way, as an
yeah.
example of what works, here's you bringing up a 20-year-old email because it was written offensively. It worked so well, it works 20 years fucking later. It just happened to be used.
What
for
I don't
evil instead
understand
of
is,
good.
right, Richard, but what I don't understand is this. Why do you need to resort to things? You're trying to punch upwards. You're trying to climb the ladder. And what I'm saying is you're already there, bro. Just let your work,
Not there.
let your community elevate you. Not you, one person. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Look at me,
Yeah.
I'm Richard Hart. Like
I would
yes,
rather pay a hot chick to read quotes from my book than who are currently reading it, which are actual fans of my book. They're not as hot.
sure, whatever.
I mean, we do have one hot chick that's doing it,
That's nice.
but the other couple dudes are doing it, or just dudes. No one wants to.
But
Look at that
dude,
shit.
you are writing about yourself, that you are a force for good. You're the best person.
That
in-
website was purposely written to be offensive, which is why
Okay.
my IQ is listed.
I
at the top
am
of
the
fucking
best
website.
person in crypto. Who do you think said that?
I hope it's
The
me.
best. Yeah. Why?
Oh, look, it's everyone but me.
It's
Look, everyone
because
but me got
it didn't
listed.
work for this. It didn't work for this. No, but it also pushes people away. Like a person like me likes
know
what
that.
you do, but you look like try hard when you do that.
I know that. I'm aware of that. It's asymmetrical. The people that like it a lot, and the people that don't like it, they were going to fuck off anyway. They fuck off anyway. So I get it. You know what? If you don't want to understand how outrage marketing works, let's list the names that we've talked about here. Tate, McGregor, Trump. This guy's 20-year-old fucking spam mail. Me. And what do we all have in common? People know we exist. And why do they know we exist? Partially because we talk shit.
Yeah, but that's pathetic just to know you exist
you-
instead of doing good in the world.
Oh yeah, did you raise $27.5 and fuck? Like, I can't be a better person. I give away free
Vitalik,
self-help
what I'm
books
saying
for
is
near a
Vitalik
decade.
did more than that.
Where's his free self-help book, motherfucker?
Maybe he doesn't write self-help books, but he does a lot of other things that help
Okay.
millions
Where's
of people.
his free coins for Bitcoiners?
He has
No,
actually. What are you talking about?
he didn't give free coins to Bitcoiners.
No,
What
but
coin did he
gave
give for Bitcoiners for free?
$1 billion of free coins to India. He did a lot of these things. He did donations. He gave $1 billion of free coins.
Yeah.
100 million was
I
given
don't
back.
dislike Vitalik. I like that he writes free and open source software. I like that he supports the same charity that I support. I like that I made who the fuck knows how much money on his
And
project.
Richard, you are the second
right?
best person. in
That's
crypto.
fine.
You're
But
the second best.
I like somehow you get me to look like I hate open source when I like open source.
No, I'm
and somehow
simply
you
saying.
get me to look like I hate Vitalik when I like Vitalik. How
No,
are you doing
that's what
that?
I'm saying. No, dude. That's what I was trying to tell you. It's the way.
Oh, by the way,
it's
by
your
the way,
manner of
have
talking.
you ever seen how Vitalik dresses?
Yeah,
It's a little outrageous.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the way he talks
Yeah.
or dances on stage and wears costumes? It's a little outrageous.
He's
So why doesn't he have to eat the same shit for the same tactics that I have to eat shit for?
It's not
He does
tactics.
the same shit.
Dude, he is that way. He's actually.
He has a picture of his fucking hard cock and everyone's celebrating it.
I have no idea about that.
Something was sitting in his pocket.
Dude,
Hop on.
I am
Twitter.
telling you, you're the second best person in crypto, and the first person doesn't have to brag about himself. That's fine. Okay, that's fine. Vitalik has done a lot. He's built Ethereum.
That triggered feeling that you're feeling to bring me down a notch is exactly why this tactic.
I've
works.
been thinking this for I thought this for months, right? That you're the
Your
second
brain
best
thinks that we're
person.
in a small.
You don't need to
social
be
group
triggered
of
by
50
that.
people traveling.
Yeah.
And you think the more popular I get, the more food I get, the less food you get, the better chicks
No.
I get, the worse chicks you get. And so your brain is like, player hate this motherfucker. And that's why
I
the
don't
tactic
hate you.
works.
I actually like you. Being second best person in crypto is like better than almost everybody. So
Thanks.
you're triggered. I'm not
I
triggered.
accept the compliment. I'm just telling you, outrage marketing works, whether you realize it or not.
So you can call out other people. You could talk shit about yourself, but you're literally a rapper. You're literally like doing that.
No, well, I mean, I just showed you that God did the same thing in the Ten Commandments. So
You're comparing
the
yourself
analogy
to
would
God,
hold as
and
well.
you're
if
literally a
you-
rapper.
Yes, I am.
That's-
I am doing that.
Yes,
And it's
I know. So the funny thing is, it's like we agree on everything. You're just like battling
Yeah.
me for some reason, like a rapper.
Just nuance. It's just the nuance.
Like,
I want you to promote the technology we already have instead of building new tech. So if you like IPFS, promote it. If you like Tor, promote it. If you like people hosting their own websites, make it easier for them to host their own WordPress installs. But I think there's too many exploits. They might as well just write raw HTML. I don't need all the other bullshit. Just write fucking text.
No, it doesn't work that way. Now you're in my turf. It doesn't work that way. Look, here's the thing, man. The reason
the web got worse.
The reason
all
that you made this website suck. But look, your website pretty much sucks from the point of view of users. Like you said, nobody's going to come back to it because, okay, they learned you're a force for good and you're all this shit and you're awesome. And that's it. That's all they get from it. Oh, yeah. Also, they get these nice photos of your watches, which are, by the way, very interesting. Snake.
Thank you.
Yeah. But
that's
the thing
$1 million Bulgari jewelry set I got there. It's a $250,000 Rolex.
In this, we are super opposite, like super opposite. And the thing is, like, I'm more in the camp of Linus Torvalds and Vitalik, right? Than you are like, no, I need to own everything.
I'm glad you're that way because it makes it easier for me to attract users.
No, that's what.
The more of you guys that believe that silence and
we
humility
give you,
and shit
we literally
is good,
give you
it amplifies my message.
You built on top of Vitalik's like platform, which he gave away to you. Okay, so you like that.
Apparently, they were well funded to do that.
Yeah, the public funded them.
The Ethereum Foundation used to have like 1 million Ethereum. Now they have no Ethereum. They've been dumping that price for so long.
Ethereum did an ICO. Ethereum got people voluntarily to give them money. By the way, props and shout out to you. Okay, not you bragging about yourself. I'm going to brag about you. Okay,
thanks,
yeah, that you with the sacrifice. One of the options. I don't know where half the sacrifice money went, where it's like the secret addresses. Okay, I'm not going to talk about that stuff. But you also allowed people to donate to Sense and Longevity, okay? And all those people
get a tax write-off.
They get tax write-off. They get almost as much as if they donated to a shadowy address of a token whose value is speculative, and we'll see if it works or not. But if they donate to Sense, my point is they're helping humanity, and you've done that. You've made
47.5 million raised is a lot of money in my mind.
And you see how that works, because I appreciate what you did. You don't have to talk about it, okay? But my point is,
you're the only guy saying something nice about it. It's just you. Everyone else is a piece of shit, pretty much. No one else cares.
Because they don't actually dig into what happened, right? Look, I could focus on the shadowy stuff. I could focus on the origin address of Hex. I could focus on a lot of
Do it. Attack. Tell me about the origin address. How much Hex is it?
You live for attacks, bro. I'm here to talk about substance.
Tell me how much.
What if I don't attack? Is that gonna like bother you that I'm not?
No, they're just like it's like this thing where the origin address, to the best of my knowledge, has never sold any Hex.
Actually,
so I could look on chain and you're like, well, this fucking thing has never sold anything.
Well, since you and I are not the origin address, right? And you don't know much about it, and neither do I, so I can speculate. My guess is as good as yours. So here's my guess. The origin address pays promoters in Hex to the daughter addresses in order to promote Hex and do things that make Hex, more popular, and that's fine.
That shit sounds retarded.
Well,
no,
what do you know? What do you know about the origin address that I don't?
I just know what I see on chain.
Well, so do I.
See on chain.
So do I.
The fucking coins go there and then they sit and then they just keep sitting.
Nope. You said yourself. I'm quoting you. You said that the origin address sends money to addresses, but guess what? Those addresses never sell. And that's true. They lock it up. That's a very good model. Paying somebody to lock up coins, let's say an influencer promoter for 10 years. That's better than sending it to the zero address. For the longest time, zero address would be a better origin address than the origin address, because we know it's not going to sell. But the thing is, the zero address can't pay promoters. So dude, I would say origin address is better.
I can't think of a thing promoted less than Hex.
I can. Definitely. You have an entire conference that you just had. I mean, come on.
Yeah, but like so the SEC sent out subpoenas to people that made videos about Hex.
Yeah.
Particularly asking whether they've been paid to promote Hex.
For example, right.
And then I am unaware of any YouTuber that's been paid to promote Hex.
Well, you don't know the origin. So why are we talking about this?
Because I know the people that make YouTube videos.
Yeah, you know all the promoters of Hex. You know all the people and how they were paid by the origin address or not. How would you know that? Look on chain at the origin address.
When you pay people on chain, it leaves records.
That's what I'm talking about.
In my chain analysis of the origin address,
what does it do?
In the beginning,
your analysis. What does it do? What does the origin address do besides receive money?
in my chain analysis of the origin address in the very beginning of Hex, it would appear that it would send coins to other addresses and that those addresses would stake.
Oh,
But then a month in, it stopped doing that. And then it sent its coins to other addresses that just sat there. They didn't do anything.
exactly. And that's
They
exactly
didn't send
what
small
describes what I
fucking
just said.
transfers to fucking people that would have been promoters that would have got small transfers.
How do you know? How do you know?
Because it's on fucking chain.
On chain.
If they were sending small transfers to a bunch of fucking promoters, you'd see fucking small transfers.
No,
I don't
not small
remember seeing
transfers.
any small fucking transfers.
Dude, you don't have to do small transfers. So to take it away from I don't want you to be emotional about this. Let's talk about Satoshi.
No, but bro,
Because we had the same thing with
if
Satoshi.
it was fucking, if you are the owner of a thing and you own a giant portion of a thing,
Yeah.
and then you pay people to promote your thing,
Yeah.
the fucking transfers that you send for the fucking promotion are fucking smaller than your fucking stack. Otherwise, you'd just be giving away equity in your company.
So
And so when you pay people to promote shit, there's prices. And those prices are very fucking small compared to the market cap of a fucking crypto.
dude, I'm not taking a moral stance on this, but the origin address did send, you just said it yourself, sent to other
No,
addresses which state.
You're making inflammatory accusations that are
Yeah.
identical to the accusations the SEC is trying to make, and it's triggering me and it's making me fucking angry.
I don't
Because
want
you're
you
trying to
get into
attack
your
Hex the
triggers.
same way the government's trying to
You
attack
asked
Hex,
me,
and
you
it's
said go attack.
disgusting and inflammatory.
Okay, you asked me. I don't want to get into this, right? I really would like to talk
The
about
origin, I'm telling you what the origin address has done.
how do you
if
know what the origin
I
address?
saw it's on chain.
So
I'm
then I saw
explaining
the
it to
same
you.
thing, bro.
So
I see it.
you think who do you think got paid to promote Hex? Who?
I don't care.
Because no one promoted it.
How,
No big name motherfucker promoted it. Nobody.
dude, here's what I
No
don't want to.
popular influencer promoted Hex.
Yeah.
Everyone that fucking promoted Hex came from
Dude, I've seen-
nowhere.
okay,
from
look.
nothing.
I'm gonna Google who promoted. I used like on YouTube. I've seen people promoting Hex on YouTube, right?
Yes, YouTubers that came from nothing, that came from scratch, that filled a niche talking about something no one else would talk
Look,
about.
I'd rather. I don't like to talk about personalities or origin addresses. I don't like to talk about Satoshi.
No, but dude, I never promoted an anti-aging scam. I get accused of promoting anti-aging scams. I never sold a how to fucking spam program. I get accused.
Yeah, but on this, you
20-year-old
literally
fucking email
admitted that you're using the marketing tactics. When you launched Hex, you were literally writing that, you know what, I have to borrow the marketing tactics of other people. I'm
Yes,
giving people.
and having a referral program where you pay yourself your own coins for referring people is the
That's
exact
fine.
opposite of someone else paying you. You minting your own coins
I'm
is the
saying
opposite of
besides
someone
that,
else giving you coins.
I'm saying on an ongoing basis. Look, here's
I'm telling you to the
dude,
best of my knowledge, the
I don't wanna
Origin
have
Address
a
never
heated
sold
dis-
nothing, but you're
I don't like-
telling me that it's dumping it. You're
you
telling me you're
thrive-
giving coins to other people, and then those coins you're going to sell them.
Dude, here's the thing. You thrive on like conflict, right? And calling people out. I thrive on the opposite of that. I want to be peaceful. And I just want to ask two questions and move on. The first question is the origin address in your analysis. You said it sent money to other addresses which staked. How do you know, however you described it, it sent the money for something? It could have been for equity in the company, it could have been for helping. You could have been, not you, the origin address, could have helped the team. It could have put people on the team or become aligned. You don't just send to addresses for no reason. So yeah, it could be that they're staking for years and they believe in the project. What's wrong with that? But that is getting.
I don't think that you dug deep enough. Let me tell you how you can tell little guys are getting paid some shit. Because the little guys receive coins in small numbers, and then they send them to fucking exchanges, and they turn it into cash, and they pay their little pleb bills.
Not if they believe in it.
That's how you can tell people.
No, my investors don't.
Being paid
Our investors don't. Our investors are in for years. No, not every time somebody goes and is a fair weather friend and a sellout, right? A lot of people are in it to win.
I think that if people promote for a living, it's okay that they sell out and sell the shit. Like, I think it's okay if you pay
yeah, but that's
people
the logical
money, whatever
fallacy. I'm not
they want
talking.
with it.
It's okay, but I'm saying the people that the origin address paid for sure, we're going to stake. Like that's the agreement, obviously, right? That we're going to stake.
I think that what you're saying is as far removed from reality as anything I've ever heard. This is the first time I've ever actually heard this argument that the origin address paid people to promote. That
why
shit
not?
is crazy.
What's wrong with that? Listen, whatever.
It's if the origin address had paid people to promote, the people
just
would have been
promote.
paid very small fucking amounts.
No, to help the
They wouldn't have
project. For
been
example,
paid.
a co-founder, employee number 5. Like, why not? I don't get it.
You can dream.
Zuckerberg
Hey,
did
you know
it.
what?
Everyone does it.
I give up. You want to dream whatever you want. I'm just telling you what I see on chain.
Okay.
What I see on chain
seems to be very attached
like,
to the reputation of the origin address actors for some reason.
Well, let's see where all the coins ended up. Okay.
Yeah.
The origin address got 50% of supply, sent it to a shitload of other addresses.
Yeah.
Those addresses used to stake, and then they stopped doing that, and then they just sat on the fucking coins.
So they believe in the project,
except for a couple events.
Yeah.
The big payday, those addresses got staked for big payday, and those addresses sacrificed like motherfucker to the Pulse X and Pulse Chain.
Amazing. It's almost like they know the origin address operators and like them.
And that's it. That's what I see on chain.
So what's wrong with that?
I don't see any shit that looks like a promoter with like a .eth address or like a known fucking address of anyone in the cryptocurrency space. I don't see addresses with histories of transferring shit to exchanges. I don't see addresses with histories of buying other fucking coins. I don't see histories of shit that would look like paying for promotion. I don't fucking see it.
Literally every one of our disagreements is not a real, Richard, literally every one of our disagreements is not a real disagreement so far. It's just been semantic. Like I'm saying there's nothing wrong with that. Mark Zuckerberg paid, Dustin, whatever.
The government in the United States, the SEC, thinks there is something wrong with it, which is why they're fucking asking about it.
I think
aren't we so awesome and lucky that none of that happened?
You won't find argument from me. I am against the government overreach. I am against, dude, the entire time I was telling you that we could use non-government ways to organize society. Have I not? So why would I? Yes, I know the SEC has got you curled up in a little ball saying I'm not the origin address, and I'm not going to challenge you on that.
I'm not curled up in a ball. I'm speaking the fucking truth. They're different.
You can't admit you're the origin address. That's fine. I don't want you to admit that.
The presuppositions are awesome, dude.
Whatever, dude.
You
not
roll with your presuppositions.
I don't care. I don't care who Satoshi is. I don't care who the origin address is. I literally want to talk about the substance. And
what if Satoshi was the government? Wouldn't you be torn?
No, I
anti-government, pro Satoshi. Oh no.
No, see, I don't think Bitcoin is all that great. So,
what if Satoshi is the American government and they dump Bitcoin to pay the Social Security bills?
I want to read this. Bitcoin a peer. Okay, here's my question. Bitcoin a peer-to-peer. What was the title of Satoshi's? Like, what were the first words that Satoshi ever wrote on his white paper?
That was it. Yeah.
I want you to read this.
Peer-to-peer electronic cash system.
Okay. Here's the thing: is Bitcoin an electronic cash system? So they failed. It totally failed at being the thing that it was supposed to be.
Yes, correct.
Okay, so why would I look at Bitcoin and be like, wow, what an amazing peer-to-peer electronic cash system?
Because the number went up. The number went up so much that you don't care about anything else anymore.
Yes. So let's actually delve into that, because that's way more interesting to me than your personality, no offense, and Satoshi's and Vitalik's.
Probably not more interesting, truthfully, but okay.
To me, it is. Because
making peer-to-peer cash is not actually interesting.
What I'm saying is, what's interesting
WeChat did that.
Is the number go up. The number go up. I'm holding the bag, so I'm going to shill my bag. Okay. The thing is like sunk cost, like I'm in too deep. Okay. So I want to talk about this. I've met a lot of people in the crypto space. People on your stream don't see this. This is Brock Pierce. These are some libertarians.
It looks like a terrorist met with a child molester here. What am I looking at? You know what? It's no one on my stream can see what you're looking at, so it's not as funny to them.
That's true. Shit. Anyways,
you gotta shave that fucking beard, bro.
Yeah, I did.
Get rid of that thing. They're not gonna let you on airplanes, man.
Look at me now. That's a found. Okay. At Brock Pierce's house, I met the founder of Tether. I met the people running the here's Brock. I met a lot of people just all over the place in Dubai. I know the people in the crypto space. This is the Government Blockchain Association in Washington, D.C., public-private partnerships with a lot of, I think my beard looks better here, by the way, just FYI.
It does a little bit, yeah. It looks better now. Smaller is better, bro, to the point of where they'll just get rid of it. Like, anyway.
Well, this is the
I might screw mine back a little bit.
This is the director of the Government Blockchain Association, just one of many people
thumbnail
who thank us. It's not a thumbnail. Oh, I see. Yes,
it is a thumbnail.
It is.
Destination report, GBA. We're a 501c6 non.
Okay, they have people from the World Bank. They have people.
Nice.
They're not just 501c. Okay, here. I'll say it in
his.
It's
fine. I think it just means they're a PAC, political action committee. I think.
Huh?
I think that's what a 501c6 means. I think it's a political action committee. I'll Google it.
Sure. Meanwhile, I'll play this. This is him talking about how my software helped his conference, because what we do, I'll start with my software Web 2, is that we help build more than richardhart.com Web 1.0 site. We help form communities, and I'll talk about why that's important. But here,
But do you have your IQ written in the first paragraph of your website? Is the real question.
obviously not.
Oh, what? Yeah.
I never took an IQ test. It
pretty
was
rare strategy, that one.
I'll try. Yeah, I'll adopt it for a week and see if suddenly the world would love me even more or hate me even more. Okay, here we go. See, that's the thing, man. Nobody hates me. Like, I even pissed you off a little bit, but you don't hate me.
Well, only because a couple reasons. That's fine.
And one of them is I don't brag about myself. I'm literally the opposite of what you do. But that's
you
fine.
just showed 10 pictures of you with pseudo famous people to like name drop visually. Come on, bro. You're doing the same shit.
To you, not to everybody. Yeah. Anyway, and what I'm trying to say to you is it's fine to say that you've done these things or that you have been here or there. But guess what I'm not going to be doing in about 5 years from now? I'm not going to be showing these pictures because people will be showing pictures with me, not the other way around. The fact that you're bragging about yourself just subconsciously says that, like, it's not enough for other people to do it.
This doesn't coincide with the people calling me a cult leader. These are opposite points of view.
I don't call you a cult leader.
I mean, they made a whole movie. Like, I think some people do talk about me. It's just.
I mean, I think there is a level of cult religion that requires a coin like Bitcoin or Hex to even have value, because it has very little utility outside of people believing it's a store of value. But that's a subject I want to talk about. But yes, in that sense, you might be a cult leader, but so is I guess the Bitcoin is a cult also. The
501c6 is a business league, chamber of commerce, or real estate board. It's not a political action committee. So
that's fine.
I was wrong about that one.
Here, I'm just trying to tell you. So I've gone around the world last year, for example, meeting all these people. And my point is this. This is Akon. He's building Akon City in Africa. Like, a lot of these projects don't deliver on what they're talking about, but eventually they might. I guess, look, I want to talk about projects. I want to talk about
Hacks or 501c4s.
Okay.
I know.
Now you know. So look, let me ask you about this. Akon City, it's supposed to be built. It's not built. What's going? So I know Pulse. Let's talk about Pulse for a second, because I think on the show. Okay. What is going on with Pulse after the sacrifice? Is it because it's a bear market, you don't want to launch? Is it ready? Like, what? Or, will you launch in a bear market if the software is done? Let's start there.
Yep.
Okay.
We're closer to the end than the beginning of the bear.
We are,
and the coin's going to launch with zero value anyway. So it's starting at zero. So what's the big deal? What's it going to fall from zero?
So all that sacrificing, you're saying we don't know. It's starting from zero. The value could be anything.
Yeah.
Correct.
It's starting at zero.
So to me,
that is no value at launch.
So to me, yeah. Go ahead. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Well, the status is quite simply, we're basically done refactoring all the integers to fit our larger by, I think, 1,000,000x supply over Ethereum, which blew out most of the storage slots. So, we were happy to launch with, I think, Geth and Prism as our primary clients for consensus and execution. However, we discovered that the most popular and good block explorer requires Lighthouse and Aragon. And so we also had to do all the integer expansions for Lighthouse and Aragon. And so probably we're going to be supporting 4 clients off the bat. Those 4: Prism, Lighthouse, Aragon, Geth. And so they just finished the expansion for the slots on Aragon and Lighthouse. And that will allow us to launch public V3.
So when is that going to happen?
All of my time estimates are useless. They're all garbage.
Ballpark or a range?
Weeks. 3 weeks.
Oh, okay.
I guess
not like 6 months.
Could be next week.
Not 12 months.
No. I mean, this shit is, like, in my opinion, very close to launch. But caveat: every time estimate I've ever had has been wrong.
Okay.
And I've been warning about that forever because, my devs give me estimates and then they're wrong. And then I give you estimate and then I'm wrong because they're wrong. I don't really have any estimate of my own. I mean, I guess this isn't from devs. This one is from me. I'm just guessing this one.
No, listen, I like that. You're talking to a guy who has a roadmap and I'm wrong by a couple months and the people eat me out. Oh, sorry. That's bad.
Yeah, dude. Always. Like it's
Chew me out.
you're not gonna see software launched on time. That's not something that happens. It just never happens.
Exactly.
Um,
Did you do any research or look at what Intercoin does at all?
yeah, so we have a genius on the team that analyzed a bunch of different. Well, I'm not sure Intercoin's the right name for it, but if you're talking about the bridge, that he had looked at it
the bridge
before.
The bridge is just a little project.
Okay. Well, then no, I haven't looked at it.
Okay, so just for the audience, we built a cross-chain trading solution that's trustless, and we're going to give hex, not hex.
How do you handle price feeds?
A lot of the stuff that we decouple. I find that for-profit centralized exchanges tend to be like that and make money at all because they bundle everything together. They say, we're going to do discovery for you, advertising, we're going to do price feeds, we're going to do order books, we're going to do trade execution. So
what I mean is
the trade execution. We're going to
okay,
help.
well then it's just not going to work. So I'll tell you why that part won't work.
Yeah.
We had atomic cross swaps for a long time. No one uses them. Why does no one use them? Because your atomic cross swap has to be listed at a particular price, and then the price moves, and then you have to run your own off-chain bot constantly updating at which prices you're happy to swap.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it sucked and broke and no one ever used it.
Hold up a second.
Because you had to maintain the order book for the swap.
That's what decentralized systems look like when you unbundle all that stuff, right? There are, for example, if you have a centralized exchange and that exchange trades against you, liquidates your margins and does that, that's bad, right? You don't want to trust a centralized entity. You need multiple actors running bots to keep each other honest. That's what it looks like when you have an adversary.
So you haven't solved the price bot update thing, so you won't have an order book, so you'll fail compared to things that don't need it,
decentralized
like AMM, constant product market makers.
No, literally, like that's a great example. Uniswap, which helped Hex a lot, is a decentralized autonomous market maker, right? So it literally has.
It is its own price feed.
Yeah, sure. You could do a bonding curve. You could do all kinds of curves. That's fine. And by the way that you have to deposit liquidity into your project to have a nice curve is ridiculous. You could just have the curve. Like you didn't need the way Uniswap does it is that you need to put like $50,000 of liquidity, just keep it there just so the curve looks a little bit flatter. And that's ridiculous. You could just have a bonding curve. But whatever.
The curve is always the same unless you're in V3.
No, the curve changes.
V2 curves are always the same. No, curve's always the same.
It's X times Y equals Z. They're constant product curves. And so what happens
X times Y equals K, and it's always
when you K, whatever, Z, K. The point is if you increase K, the curve looks like it's actually more stable. Like that's why the price.
No, it's just a symmetrical fucking curve on both sides. Always.
Look, if there's more liquidity, the price changes less. Do you agree? With trades. The trades move
unless your orders change, unless the order values change by the same ratio, you change the liquidity.
Right, but the order, that's the whole point. They don't, right? The people put in $100 and it moves the price wildly.
More liquidity causes less volatility. Less liquidity causes more volatility.
So if you look at the curve, I'm saying
the curve doesn't change.
That's what volatility is on the market maker. I mean, you could read.
You're talking about the price chart.
The price.
You're talking about the price. Sure. Okay. Well, that's not a curve.
I mean, it is a curve. Bonding curves are those things. Bonding curve.
No, bonding curve will never change. That shape stays the same.
Dude, I literally, like, this is one of the things I work with, right? So
showing you the curves. They will never change.
Here's an S
curve. They're always the same.
Yeah, the price curve changes depending on the liquidity that's deposited. So the more liquidity, the more the price curve becomes flatter, basically. If that makes sense.
Nope, it's not true.
You can.
What you're saying is literally not true.
Okay, let's go.
You got it totally wrong.
$1,000. Okay, there's $1,000 of Ethereum and $1,000 of Intercoin in a pool.
Sure.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Or now there's $1 million of Ethereum and $1 million of.
In order for that to be true, it would need to be, I think, $1. So in order for there to be $1,000 of Intercoin and $1,000 of Ethereum, Intercoin would need to equal $1 because you're referencing a third thing.
Right. I'm just throwing numbers out there. I mean, basically,
Sure.
it's the same.
So then
there's
what
an
you
amount.
should say is that there's 1,000 Ethereum and 1,000 Intercoin. Then you're not referencing a third thing, and
Sure.
then your price is 1 Ethereum equals 1.
Sure, you can literally say
or
that.
you could just make it. You could just make it 1,000
1
USDC
Ethereum,
and 1,000.
There's a 1 Ethereum
whatever.
and 1,000 Intercoin in a pool. Okay. And now,
Okay, but just make
now
it
you
1,000,
pro-
1,000, dude. Just
now
make our
you
lives
add
easy.
liquidity on both sides. Okay, because that's
Yes.
what Uniswap requires you to add liquidity on both sides.
No, only V2. V3
Only
does not
V2.
work that way.
Yeah, but who uses it? That's like you're talking about. How many
The
people?
majority of people use V3 now. The majority,
Huh, interesting.
the vast majority. Nope.
Well, I mean, I guess you're not counting Binance Smart Chain or Polygon or PancakeSwap or anything else on other chains.
Well, sure. Yeah, I'm not. I'm just, I'm looking at the
That's just
Ethereum
like,
ecosystem.
dude,
yeah.
Binance was like the casino of shitcoins of like 2020, 2021. Okay, so
Yeah, on Ethereum, everyone uses V3, but on those other chains that may not have a V3, sure, there could still be a lot of V2. I mean, look,
I
Pulse
think
chain,
that's intellectual
Pulse X a
property.
V2 fork.
There's
so.
there's probably intellectual property copyright. By the way, Hex is copyrighted.
There is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Correct.
I know. We actually differ on some substance, but most of our disagreements have been about form, and it's ridiculous. But whatever. Anyway, I want to get to the substance. My point is that we could talk offline about the shall we say the trustless decentralized bridge, because when you start deconstructing what a bridge is, the same way that you deconstructed Uniswap and Bancor deconstructed what an automated market maker is, they found that in fact you can have a decentralized, but you need participants like liquidity providers. Like in Uniswap V3, everyone has their own NFT that represents their own little liquidity that they've put in. And what I'm trying, and they can sell those in like, you know, on OpenSea or something. So a decentralized system does in fact require people to do things. They can have a bot, they can have AWS like you do and run it in the same cloud, which sucks, but they still have to run something. They can't just sit back and have a centralized.
Yeah, and if you give them the thing to run, then you have a chance of having some participants doing it. I mean, we've seen failures of this form before. Like no one was running bots in like MakerDAO auctions, and then like some people got bad liquidation prices because no one was running the bots that they should have run. You know,
you need adoption. You
need
adoption.
Well, it's the same like Ethereum. If you try and run an Ethereum node right now, it's extremely hard to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Extremely hard to do.
I like it.
You can make it easier. So we made it easier.
How do you make it easier?
Like,
talk about Pulse Chain. How does Pulse Chain make it easier?
You make a script. You literally make a script that runs the Docker containers, and then you're good to go.
But what about all
you just need the script?
Don't you need to store the state of every single smart contract on the?
No, it depends. You don't have to. You just do pruning. If you've got 700 or 800 gigs, then
that's history.
That's history.
You don't. I'm not talking about archive nodes. I'm saying like the current state is terabytes.
Then you need 700 or 800. No, it's 700 or 800 gigs.
Okay, gigs.
Sure.
All right. So
it's not 1 terabyte yet.
Just to be clear for people in the audience, if you want to run a node on a public blockchain, you're literally doing the following: you're allocating gigabytes of space on your hard drive. It's not a lot.
It depends on the chain.
And
a lot of empty chains out there.
You would probably want people to use your chain, right? You probably want it to be used by many.
Well, yeah, if you run it, sure. Yeah,
okay,
if you want to run my node for my project, you better have, a 1 terabyte hard drive.
Okay, so now I'm gonna drop some iconoclastic bombs. Okay, one is blockchains kind of suck, and I'm not saying so. Your blockchain might suck less than other blockchains.
All blockchains suck.
Yeah,
I am aware.
So we
agree.
It is
the slowest, most expensive database in history.
And not only that,
with hidden bit rot in the form of forks.
Yeah, look at what happened at the so-called scaling solution of Ethereum. Okay, this is the best that we've got. This is like layer 2. So this is last year. Okay, popular about this time. Popular blockchain game is congesting Polygon, sending gas prices soaring. So you have basically, what is a blockchain? I need this for the audience. That's not for you. Basically, a blockchain is a chain of blocks. Okay, the blocks are finite. You get some transactions in there. You got to pay for that. If your transaction is not on the chain, doesn't count. It could sit there in the mempool for forever, as long as you get a price. So basically what happens is the entire world has to gather all their transactions in the world in one place every 15 seconds or whatever the chain time is. And that is the bottleneck. You call it decentralized, but literally the entire process is actually worse than what I described, because you don't know which miner is going to solve the double, the problem, seal the envelope, so to speak. So you're going to have to send every transaction to every potential miner, send everything to everyone. If BitTorrent worked this way, everyone would seed every file. Like literally, it would be not decentralized.
Yeah, but the mempool is so pitifully small. Who gives a shit?
Yeah,
I mean,
you can't have
the
that many
mempool is
transactions.
like 2 megabytes or something. Like it's jack shit.
And guess why? Because everything's packed into these tiny little bits. You need to optimize gas. I know, because I work with blockchain developers. Like, oh, we can't spend gas. You can't spend these like 256 bits on this. So it's like, yeah, you pack everything into a block, and then that block is the thing that people pay for. That is the utility. So in 2023, which we're currently in, this is the state of the art. Like literally, it's pitiful, but this is the state of the art of decentralized smart contracts that they go through this tiny little bottleneck.
I mean,
and
you
that's
could
what
say ZK L2s are the state of the art if you wanted to care about the state of the art. But
I mean, yeah, like you're saying, we need to
you don't have
promote.
composability.
I think in the future, L2s will help. And I think that honestly, what is the future is more like the hub and spoke model of, let's say, Polkadot or Cosmos. At least they have like parachains orbiting like a main chain. So like,
but everything's that if you have bridges. If you have bridges, everything is that.
Yeah, but you need to have the main chain secure the parachains. That's basically what the big thing is.
Yeah, but if you're bridging from big, like it, if you're bridging from, if you have, which are the insecure L1s?
L1s, you mean
that
L2?
People use Solana.
Yeah, sure.
No, but you said you needed the main chain to be secure. So like, other than Solana going down all the time,
Solana is like insecure.
L1s
Solana
kind
is
of are
centralized.
secure.
You could tell it's centralized because it goes down all the time. Like that's a telltale sign. Like, yeah. So
like I think most L1s are pretty secure. Like
no,
it depends on how long you're going to leave your stuff
most
there.
L1s, like there's only a handful you could count on one hand that are like secure block proof of work. There's only a few. Like Bitcoin Gold got hacked. Like tons of 51% attacks.
You're going back to like 2014 here, I think.
Yeah, well,
or no, that was a 2017 thing.
They got hacked. Like proof of work with little work.
No, but most of these alternate EVM L1s are not proof of work.
Good.
BSC is not proof of work.
So I've like
Polygon's not proof of work.
Right. They're not.
Like most alternate EVM L1s aren't proof of work, and therefore they are less susceptible to renting nice hash 51% attacks. And so like,
that's right.
I know where the problems are in these systems. I'm not comfortable calling them like insecure. Like if I don't know, man, maybe BSC could fail. And
I don't think they're insecure in the sense that they can recover. Like if Bitcoin has a 51% attack, so freaking what? Like in about a day, it will go back to being totally secure, and all those transactions that were mined on this other chain will go away. So,
right.
Oh, do you agree? Like,
well, I think that they're all socially enforced networks, and the society that's operating them can rotate and fix things. Like Ethereum didn't like the quote DAO hacker.
Yeah.
And so they had the carbon vote with a default selection, lol. And then they basically abused the power of the default to fork the network to remove the quote hackers coins. Was he really a hacker if he just did what the code let him do? Hard to say. Code is law. Oh wait, we mean not really. We're forking the network.
Code is law. Yeah, well, the thing is like code is law, but you could fork things, right? And like that attacker could sell the coins on Ethereum Classic still. He could sell the coins if there was.
He never did. I don't know. I never looked into that.
I don't know. I don't know why people even use Ethereum Classic. I'll be honest. I don't even know why people use Ethereum. Like Polygon is way faster and cheaper. Why don't all NFTs just live on Polygon? Like I don't get why people want to spend mining fees.
Polygon that had the $2 billion bridge vulnerability that they caught before someone used it.
Yeah, like you're not going to lose your. So you're so
Polygon that can't even kick dead validators off its network, so that it literally has hiccups in its network execution when it rotates to a validator.
Yeah, that Polygon, like you said, it doesn't have to be perfect, right? In order to be the best. adopted, right? So look, I mean,
Well,
here,
I mean,
literally, there's much more. There's bigger things you got to worry about. Rug pull, like go to this. Web3 is going great every other day.
I've read all that crap. I have my own
Molly
thread
White,
of all that crap.
she collects all these, right? So you got, okay, wallet drained, like literally.
I didn't know that Molly White ran that. Nice.
Yeah, it's Molly White.
No. At least she's a dev.
True.
That's cool.
I asked her to be on the show. She's like, I don't know. We'll see. You said I don't know for a while.
Well, it's just I've been busy, you know. So
no, listen, I
starting
get
a
it.
museum, etc.
You're talking to a guy who runs 2 companies and who's trying to change the world in ways that you are very skeptical it can even be possible. So
no, I think I just don't want you to fall into the same trap that so many other guys do, that the technology is the answer. Technology is not the answer to politics, and it never will be. Politics is the answer to politics, sadly. And having more technology, like getting more books on working out, isn't the solution to getting muscles. Working out is. Getting more technology people don't use isn't the solution. Getting them to use the technology that's already more than good enough is a solution. So we barely need faster blockchains. We need more users.
Okay,
we barely need better hosting systems. We need more users.
I love this,
existing
right?
ones.
Because we're finally going to have a disagreement on substance, and I hope that like we can have a discussion where we hear each other out. Because I want to hear you out, and then I want you to give me like 2 minutes to respond, right? Also,
I have 700 pages of book if you're ever curious about my position on things. My book is better than me. It's free.
Noam Chomsky told me similar things, but he came on the show like multiple times, and he, you know, we talk. When we're on the show, we talk. Okay, I'm not gonna. You know, this is funny. You don't know this probably. This is great. You know who was the first Luddite who was like, "Oh, you kids with your technology, whatever"? Socrates. I just want to show you this.
Really?
Socrates about
they
books.
killed his ass. So.
You know what he said about books? Socrates about books. I would love this. Hold on.
I don't remember.
Okay, he hated books. Okay. Socrates believed that writing was not an effective way to communicate knowledge because he says, 1 second, they will cease to exercise their memory because they rely on that which is written. Calling things to remembrance no longer from within themselves, but by means of external marks. So in every generation.
Yeah, but we remember he was wrong there. We do remember the shit we've read.
But more importantly, he says you cannot, this is where I agree with Socrates, one thing, if he existed, is that...
This is like him arguing against seatbelts. People will stop driving safe because the belt will save them. No, in fact...
yeah, I can't find it here, but the bigger argument is this. When you have a book, you can't have a dialogue with the book. Like maybe ChatGPT now, you could have sort of the next generation 2.0 books where you can sort of talk, but ChatGPT is a bullshit generator for now.
I don't know about you, but most of my dialogues are like, I ain't learning that much most of the time.
What about this?
So far, what I've got out of this one is that MaidSafe still exists. That's what I got out of this one.
Well, then I'd like to pick up the pace.
I knew everything else.
I'd like to pick up the pace.
Go ahead. Let's go.
Yeah. I've been pretty humble. I haven't told you anything about web.
Attack.
Okay.
Shill.
No.
I'm sure you have a token somewhere. Shill.
Not attack, just shill. Yes, it's not a token. So again, I give things away. I'm like you. I like to give away free shit.
I will feel so much better about that because then like I don't want to do half the interviews I'm invited on because like I know dude's going to promote some shit that like I don't want to see people buy. Kind of a ticker symbol maximalist. People can only buy so many ticker symbols, and the ones that go up are the ones they buy. And so it's like everyone wants to have a token for everything. And I'm like, hey, let's just do a thought experiment. Everyone has their own token. Guess what, homies? Number don't go up, does it? So maybe it doesn't work if everyone has their own token. Maybe people need to buy the same token.
Yeah. Well, I agree with that. And that's why, like with Intercoin, we have one token for all communities, but I don't want to talk about that.
All right.
I want to talk about what it means. So a few things. First of all, agorism. So this is just some concepts. Agorism means you don't go through government. You build stuff bottom up, non-violently. And the most non-violent means is the internet. No one's ever gotten killed or harmed physically because they engaged in an internet application. Okay, that's huge. So all of the disputes that we do today.
I disagree with that. I got your ass. I got you. You ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
Drone strikes in Afghanistan.
By physical drones?
Yeah, you use the phone. You use the phone. They know where you are. They come kill you. Also, swatting. Swatting as well. You did a live stream. You broadcast on the internet. The police come and kill you.
Yeah, that's called a straw man. I said basically that no one got killed by just interacting on an internet, like the internet application doesn't kill them. Okay.
There's some other guy that talks shit to another guy on the internet, and the other guy came and burnt down his trailer.
Yeah,
and he
it's
died.
like off chain, sure. You could do anything. Off internet, you can kill
Yeah,
people.
but like how compelling is the tautological argument that something that can't kill you can't kill you? You're
It's
like,
very
yeah,
important
like
to have
electronic
guarantees.
bits can't kill you.
No, but that's
But
dude,
but
that
everyone,
is that is
no, but
huge.
you're just one lever away. It's like triggers don't kill people,
No.
bullets kill people.
Okay, well,
like
you know what,
the,
smart
where
contracts
on the
are,
gradient.
sure, smart contracts are one lever away from you getting rug pulled and destroyed. But the fact is that the system has guarantees that you love. Okay, the fact that Hex is a decentralized protocol makes it better than all this crap, the centralized crap. Okay,
I like that. Sure.
okay. So the same way, the internet, the fact that you know that you, Richard Hart, not going to infect me with a virus or jump out of the screen, that is a guarantee. It's this ironclad guarantee. Socialism. Okay, so the first thing is that you want to build things that are not restricting people, that are freedom, that are open source. And these are the ways I'm trying to get to you, and I'm trying to explain to you. You think you didn't learn anything. You learned that voice over IP took the cost of long distance phone calls to zero very quickly, where the government did not. The government had a chance. They failed every single time. So
the government created the extra capacity. The internet, extra pipes on the internet made extra capacity that only needed to be adapted to carry a new type of data, which was encoded voice.
The new type of
and then
data.
codecs that allowed encoded voice to fit in that pipe is what made it work. And so like, you could even, someone's going to make the argument that the government created the internet in the first place. So you're going to have to deal with that one.
We can go there.
I don't want to. I think that their job is well over and done, and it's all private people now.
GPS also.
So like
private
so
satellites.
I'm just saying, like, VoIP. It's Wikipedia is such a better example. You should stop using the VoIP one. Like Wikipedia.
My point is this. My point
more
is
useful.
I don't want you to
it.
think, dude. I don't want you to think that in this one example, little bitty Wikipedia beat Britannica and Carta and like everything else. I want to explain to you this general principle: open source beats everything. It eats the world over 20-year period. So anything that you can name right now, your codecs, your amazing codecs, are going to be beaten by open source.
I hope so.
Yeah,
I really hope so.
It will. OpenStreetMap
nice.
is an open source version of Google Maps. It hasn't beaten Google Maps now, but it's growing. Ethereum and Bitcoin had time. They're still okay. So a lot of these first generation, I call them first generation applications, they suck. NFTs suck as first generation.
Yeah.
Yeah. We agree on that. Where we disagree
No.
probably is I think NFTs have a future. I think that NFT 2.0 and 3.0 can be very useful, right? And it's just like Pong and Space Invaders, and then 30 years later you have Halo, Call of Duty, right? So, you know, the first chess program sucked, and now they beat every grandmaster. Like, what makes you think that, you know, smart contracts like NFTs won't be useful like in 5 to 10 years? I think they can, right?
I think it's, once again, technologies don't matter as much as motive and the people that use them. So you invent gun as technology, good or bad? Well, it depends on where you are. It depends on whether you're holding the gun or not. And so you take NFTs and you're like, is this a method to scam people? Or is this a method to just allow people to trade their tickets digitally for digital access to things? Or is this art that has more pixels? Or is this something that anyone can turn to dick pics at will? Like, oh, you bought an NFT, but I can turn to dick pics,
you could
like
say about the
Trump's
web,
last
like
NFT project.
Exactly. Like with the web, you could say
So-
link tags and marquee tags and personal homepages like yours is like whoop-de-doo. But then they had Amazon and e-commerce and software as a service, and like you had Google and all these other things.
I kind
So
of hate software as a service, by the way. It's like,
Okay,
yeah,
fine.
there's a server, but it's not yours. It's like the cloud. There's no cloud. It's just someone else's computer that's not yours.
I love
So
it.
this is like
You're
less
literally-
control, you know?
You're literally on like team my side. Like you're literally
So I like personal sovereignty.
So
I like redundancy. I like uptime. I like discoverability.
Yep.
We need so many of these open source things would be exponentially more useful if the discoverability and marketability angle was fixed. Because we already have ways to do open source Twitter. We already have ways to do open source everything. Like it's like Ethereum itself. You can't even run an Ethereum node without being a dev, pretty much.
Yep. So
if you go to ethereum.org and try and run an Ethereum node, you are in for a very, 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 very hard time.
Yep.
Very hard time.
It's like I liken it to having your own L1 connection to the internet. Like people don't do that. People go into a Wi-Fi like coffee shop and they just use the coffee shop.
But even your own L1 has port 25 closed. Like it's barely an L1. Like try hosting a website on your own internet connection. You can't. They rotate your IP. And then you have to have your own, like, what are you going to update your DNS with, like a
dynamic
side
DNS
channel? So it's like a dynamic DNS thing.
I'll blow your mind a little bit. What if you don't need the internet? What if people can have mesh networks in their local town? They can use it for, look, I'll give you the applications. Dating. Are you going to date people? Well, maybe you do in other countries. Most of you date local. Doctor's appointments, local. Planning dinners, local. Going to movies, local. Most of the stuff people did throughout fucking human history is local. And so like 90.
I like the idea of meshnet, but it dies to choke points. Like so many meshnets have just not worked out. I mean, they have a coin meshnet that like failed desperately, like just totally everyone got screwed.
The reason that these meshnets don't work is there's no software. So like, for example, Wi-Fi in Spain, Freifunk in Germany, like these things are all things that work. Like, let's take Freifunk, free funk. I don't know. That's what it's called in Germany, free radio. So this isn't actually a grassroots initiative. This is just one of many examples. This is
the only place I know where peer-to-peer internet worked was like Romania.
No, it worked here.
Fiber.
I'm from New York. Like Red Hook in Brooklyn has mesh network. Okay, like there are.
I think in the future it will work better. I mean, look, I have my own mesh network, and connecting 2 points sucks. Connection drops all the time.
If you watched any of my videos, I know that you're busy, so I'll just give you the cliff notes. Okay. Decentralize everything. I love solar panels, not because necessarily for other reasons, but because they represent self-sovereignty, decentralization. You can run your own power generation from the sun and not rely on, you know, the 5 transformers that we have in the country that can be taken down in any Carrington event or, you know.
What's a Carrington event?
Ooh, Carrington event is
a solar flare?
Yeah, solar flare. Mass ejection or solar flare, it just fries everything.
I love me some mass ejaculation. Those are cool.
Very hot, literally. Yeah, so like, dude, I'm for decentralized cell phone signals, which are mesh networks. Here's my point. Billions of people are without broadband internet. We don't give a shit about those people here in the United States. Okay, newsflash. Here in the United States, we have people without good internet in rural areas. If you care about those people, you want to build software for them too. And the current software, the Netflix of the world, the net neutrality that they talk about, is a subsidy to basically have them deliver their bits in the last mile. But there is no last mile for these like rural areas. So what I'm saying is mesh networks and self-sovereign.
Elon Musk.
Sure, he's the guy, but I don't want to rely on billionaires.
Starlink? What's this thing called?
Starlink.
Is that what it's called?
Starlink.
Good name.
I like it.
Good name.
Elon Musk is like my favorite billionaire, right? There's many people who like him. The thing is, Elon Musk is still a billionaire, which means he funnels all the money through himself, makes all the decisions himself, like at Twitter. Like before Elon Musk came in, Twitter was fairly stable. And
what is this?
What are you looking at?
I don't know. Apparently the Department of Justice is going to have a conference call for a major international cryptocurrency enforcement action. This is an announcement of an announcement.
When is it coming up?
It's 12 p.m. Eastern time.
Oh shit.
So that's isn't that already passed?
I guess we missed it. I'm gonna have to look at it.
Let me look.
All right.
Let's see. what type of good the governments have done this day.
You seem to put your hopes in the government, so it never seems
Yeah,
to
dude,
be
lots of hope.
to do.
Lots of hope. Let me tell you, me and government, we're great friends.
That's what I mean, man.
They're my
Why do you
best
keep
buddies.
doing the same thing, Stockholm syndrome, like doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. This time the government will help me. This time.
What do they do? Did
I
they
don't
ever
know.
announce what it is?
There
Isn't it?
let's see. The event is scheduled to begin. Briefing is expected. I mean, yeah, I don't know. They're suing.
I mean, they got me with a clickbait. It's like major international thing. Okay, well, let's.
Yeah, well,
What is it? Tell me the thing.
here it is.
The result was that Bitslotto became a safe haven for criminals, including drug dealers and ransomware groups. They knew that when the police traced their funds to Bitslotto, Bitslotto would not be able to turn over its users.
Bitslotto. Okay, I never heard of it.
Dependent was Bitslotto's majority shareholder and sat atop of its organizational chart.
Spoiler alert, they're going to require you to dox all your users now.
Knew full well about these violations. Bitslotto's executives communicated on their encrypted chat system about the proliferation of drug dealers on their exchange.
I've never heard of it.
Their policy of
Neither have I.
collecting no identifying
Lol.
information.
Small-time
Maybe we're
operation.
noobs.
Their word, quote, dirty money.
We might be noobs.
Bitslotto conducted its business in a brazenly lawless manner.
Sounds like they
that is
deserve
directly
to
at odds with the rules
enforce
of
the law
free
here.
And
All
integrity.
right,
that must
I
govern
get it.
the financial market.
All right. So
It's
look,
hard for me to care about a thing I've never heard
the
of.
broader, yeah, look, the broader implications, it's not they're after crypto, they're after cryptography. Remember when crypto used to mean cryptography? You were there. It was before people got greedy with their profit motive. They were talking about cryptography. So
You mean the thing that on-ramped all the users?
yeah, I mean, the thing that, no, I mean, we had cryptography in SSL, which you say sucks.
Oh
And,
yeah, I remember Heartbleed. Heartbleed was great.
dude, your internet's encrypted. You should be happy about that. Like your web.
Yeah. How are you trying to make me anti-crypto too? God dang, dude.
I love it.
What
You're
are
so,
doing,
you love
bro?
to battle. All I have to do is tell you a fact and you're anti that fact. It's like, great. Maybe I
I
should.
mean, look,
reverse psychology with you
SSL is
already.
kind of okay, but it's like in order, it's the same thing with token lists. You don't know whether you're man in the middle or not. You're still going to get the same lock symbol.
You have
So
change.
it's
Yeah,
kind
I
of
get it.
like a little bit fake, you know?
No,
like
but it's
people
better
think
than
they're more
having
secure
nothing
than
in
they
place.
are.
Dude, it's better than having
Yes,
nothing in place.
true. Yeah, yes, it is.
Way better.
I like
It's
better door locks.
You want an internet where your Wi-Fi network is snooped on and the
Right.
coffee shop gets your password? That's what you want?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I just, once again, we have the technology to make it better. We should make reasoning about that lock symbol more reasonable, you know?
Dude, that's this. Okay, so I'm going to tell you the business I'm in, not to shill it. Trust me, I don't care about your audience or you buying my token. Okay, what I care about is people understanding the issues, because literally, like, you are embedded in a market system, in a political system. You talk about it, I talk about it, but we talk about it from vastly different points of view. Okay, so let me tell you about my point of view. For the next 10 minutes, I'd like to lead the conversation, if you don't mind. Okay. We don't have the software tools. We have great hardware. I mean, look here, here's my phone. It's great. I have an iPhone. I have a computer. Hardware is great. The software is owned by big tech. Software runs on Facebook's cloud servers, Twitter's cloud servers, Google's cloud servers. They control everything about it. They won't give you the software, okay? So Facebook will give you React, which is a front-end system, which they developed. It's great. You know, the industry adopted it. They will not give you their data. They will not give you their PHP code for sure. Okay. We do. Like, there has to be an open source movement that rivals what Facebook does, is good enough that people will switch. See, people don't switch from bitching. You could talk about veganism and eating meat all day long. You could say vegans live 10 years longer. You could say that.
Do they?
They do. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Longevity, by the way. So you got to look into that.
All right.
Okay. So it's either vegans or maybe vegetarians even. That's a huge difference. 10 years. That's a huge difference. But anyway, you could bitch about it all day long. Even the longevity argument doesn't get people. You know what gets people? A burger that tastes almost like its meat. Okay, it has to be a viable, good enough alternative to switch, and that's what Beyond Meat.
I mean, they say it has to be 10 times better depending on who you ask, but I doubt you're going to get a 10 times better burger.
Yeah, I'd say you could probably just have a good enough burger, but it has to be good enough. There is no good enough software to run your own Facebook, your own community. And I challenge you to, okay, what is it, Mastodon? Like, yeah, tell me, what would you use right now to turn richardhart.com into Richard Hart's fan club Hex community, like, instead of Facebook? What would you use?
I mean, I would just start with like PHP-BB or similar open source bulletin board thing. If you put a gun to my head.
Yep.
Sucks. I think Forum was a good start, and then you could rotate. Well, no, I mean,
this is what you think looks
been
good.
running for decades. It's
Yeah,
like it's like it. I don't think it does suck. I think it's fine.
That's like people running Linux. It's like, yeah, you know, it's not sexy, but
well, this uses PHP as you can tell in the name.
So like our clients, right? They come from like Buddy Press,
maybe
PHP-BB.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, but like this is designed for people to have profiles, have profile pictures, be able to communicate with each other. So I think that's a fine and free open source start. And then once you start hitting its capacity, you can migrate people to, I mean, either you could just work on it and make it have more capacity. Like when exactly are you going to fill up? It's probably using SQL, MySQL is my guess. It's probably a LAMP
the
stack,
backend
like
is in the
Linux,
backend.
Apache, MySQL, PHP.
Okay, so your answer is, just to summarize it, is use PHP-BB. That's what you would start to use. Okay, look at this site. Look at this site and compare it to Facebook, right? I mean, literally, like,
I don't use Facebook. So I like this site better.
Oh, okay.
Facebook for me is not.
You're obviously not. I mean, like, you're not representative of most people. Okay.
I use forums. I don't use Facebook. I mean, why would you want to use Facebook?
You use Twitter. Okay, let's use Twitter as an example. You use Twitter. You like Twitter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All the people are there. Why do you think all the people are there and not on forums like PHP-BB powered by?
Well, the difference is with PHP-BB, the thread is the god, and with Twitter, you could say your feed is the god, but at least if someone clicks your name, they can see a history of your feeds. So you would have to edit PHP-BB to be like, show a person's threads, like make it easier to click them and see their thread history. If you did that, they're kind of similar systems. So like looking at your thread history is the same as looking at your.
You think the one thing that's missing from PHP-BB is that they simply need to add this one feature, and all of a sudden they might get the Twitter followers and the
Well, you would just restrict people's you'd restrict people's ability to post characters. You just put a character limit. But the two systems are very similar.
Well, there is some similarity. First of all, let me save you time.
Tagging people and character limit seems
first
to
of all,
be the primary difference.
There's much more modern systems. So there's a team, not us. There's a different team called Discourse. Okay, made by the same guys who made Stack Overflow and others. These guys give it away.
Are you talking about the voice chat Discourse one?
No, that's Discord. I know this.
My bad. Yeah.
No, Discourse is a better forum software. It was explicitly started to be more modern and better.
Sure, dude. I'm quoting you 20-year-old tech. So like PHP-BB was good 20 years ago. It might still be good. It might have been surpassed. I'm okay with either option.
So
I still know the LAMP stack works. Like my old websites from 20 years ago were as good or better than what I have now.
I agree.
This shit did not get better. These frameworks did not make things better.
That's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say that the open source movement does some things that are great in the back end.
Dude, go to a website called Motherfucking Website.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. We're on the same forums. Hacker News.
I read it every day.
Yeah.
There it is. HTML with H tags. Works great.
It's not what people use, though.
Reactive, fits on every screen.
Why do you think they use
lightweight?
this? Why do you think they use Facebook?
For the reasons I told you, because the captured audience, you don't have a choice. It's people go where the people are. And so you have a critical mass thing you can't overcome with technology.
Okay, so this is my question to you. I love it. So let's work with that. There was a time before the web, the open web, when people were on AOL. Remember that? America Online. You had a screen name there. ICQ, MSN, let me see, CompuServe, Prodigy, Minitel in France. Guess what all of those did about 5 years into the web? They all died.
Yeah.
Right? Everyone left. Here's my question. Why do you think, I know the answer, but I just want to, like, if you had a stab at it, why would people leave AOL, which has real-time chat, instant messaging, right, to go to what you see here? This is literally what the web looked like. A motherfucking website, perfect. No images. Then they added images and CSS, but like still sucked in terms of like compared to AOL. Why did people leave AOL?
I want to say because things got better elsewhere, but I'm not really sure if it's true. Might have been cost-based. AOL was expensive. It was like $30 a month. I think you could get it at 20 at some point when they started discounting it. You know,
AOL
what you
started
really
in a race to the bottom with a free web. So it started like offering 1,000 hours for free, 10,000 hours for free. Like they didn't do it out of the goodness
Net Zero was coming out at some point around that time too.
Yep.
So like I think they lost due to cost, but most people would probably tell you that the features got better elsewhere. I'm not really sure they did. Like AOL chat rooms were good and like their email was good. I mean, people still use AOL email addresses, I think. So like,
yeah, old people, like basically, the thing is, it was good, it was better, but people left. I'll tell you why. But what's interesting is Net Zero, which you mentioned, could only exist because the web started to replicate a lot of the content and the usefulness of AOL. Without that, without the web browser, there would be no Net Zero. Because AOL had the walled garden, right? They had everything in there, like Twitter, right?
Yep, that's true.
So
yeah, I agree with that.
So we've seen in the past, not one, but multiple, like all closed source networks.
Are you going to make me get more rich by releasing open source software that I get more rich on? I can live with this reality. If this is what you're going to force me to do, fine. Make your open source code. I'm cool with it.
Great endorsement, man, because yes, you are going to become more rich, but more importantly, your community who needs it more than you do will be.
I've made a lot of money on open source code.
No, you have. You've piggybacked off of Ethereum and all those people that did run the nodes.
And Bitcoin piggybacked off of Qt for user interface, Berkeley DB for database until they switched to Level DB, which is also open source. I mean, Bitcoin itself is just a piggyback of a bunch of open source software.
That's right, man.
Now an issuance rate.
So we see that open source piggybacks off of other open source. And when Newton said, if I saw further, it's because I stood on the shoulders of giants. Guess what the giants didn't do? They didn't rent their shoulders or restrict Newton from using their, that's how he was able to see further. And so my whole point is that the engine of progress in society doesn't necessarily require capitalism. It's almost a gift economy. It's not socialism, but it is people giving things away and not restricting others from making use of it. See what I'm saying?
I try and do the opposite of that possible. I try and restrict everywhere I can restrict and maintain, like, do you know how many hex knockoffs there would be? There would be so many more ripoffs. There would be so many more people harmed. There would be like tens of thousands of harmed people extra from scams.
So I think
the scams have to build their own front ends and they have to make their own everything. And then there's just less scams.
This is the conversation. This is the systemic humanity conversation, right? As opposed to
here's the difference. No, it's harder to scam people with database software. It's harder to scam people with chat software. It's very easy to scam people with financial software. And so it's less dangerous to the world to make more open, free communication things than it is for value exchange things.
You have a very good point. There's a certain class of things, including AI, that if you give it to everyone, it can be very destructive.
GPT is going to ruin most of public communication because you're not going to be able to tell who the humans are.
Exactly.
Maybe it'll improve it. Won't that be funny? What if GPT is just a better chat participant? What if GPT makes YouTube comments survivable? Huh? Maybe actually GPT is a solution to YouTube horror.
Have you ever seen XKCD? Mission fucking accomplished.
I can't wait.
Oh, you're gonna love this. So back in, I don't know when this was, years ago, this guy, right, XKCD, he writes a comic. This was considered the good thing. Okay, spammers are breaking traditional captchas with AI. So I've built a new system. It asks users to rate a slate of comments as constructive or not constructive. Then it has them reply with comments of their own, which are rated by other users. And then the girl says, but what will you do when the spammers train their bots to make automated, constructive, and helpful comments? The guy goes, mission fucking accomplished. Literally.
Dude, they took my joke from me before I made it. They pre-attacked me.
This guy
pre-hashed a joke collision. Sons of bitch rainbow table using bastards.
Actually, this guy is awesome. He attacked you years
Randall before. Something, isn't his name?
Randall Monroe, I believe.
Yeah.
Randall Monroe. Yeah, this guy's great. All of his random stuff is great. Here's my point.
Great.
There's some certain
his battery horse paperclip fucking password one is great. There's so many correct battery horse staple. He has so many good comics.
He's got tons. I love this guy's comics, but my point simply is this out of his comics, right? Is that what he considered to be a good thing, mission fucking accomplished, can also be used for bad, right? So you can have astroturfed, like, hey, I can have a botnet. I'm not going to do this, but not giving anyone ideas, but I can have a botnet.
It's a cognitive denial of service.
Reputationally attack. Forget even like having your friends call you every time you try to do something your friend calls you. No, I'm talking about systematic reputational destruction of like I can go into a forum, anyone who has opposite opinion is going to get mercilessly attacked by 50 bots in every forum.
Dude, everyone's making so much fun of this this DOJ bust. Like apparently these guys were like nobody. I don't know.
Yeah, I've never heard of them.
Like never heard of
your tax dollars at work. Well, it's not bad. I'd rather they do that, honestly.
Who are you talking about? These JPEGs are hilarious.
In this
Bro, I've run out of energy. You've given me the peace and freedom and non-combative talk for so long that my energy is depleted. It's too congruent.
Fuck.
How long have we been doing this? It's 2 hours and 30 minutes. Is what it feels like.
I was thinking we could do a 3-hour thing and then call it quits.
Okay. All right.
Look, dude.
That's a good one. So what else do we want to hit? I mean, we covered. So look, I believe I'll give you some food for thought. Elon Musk is making a huge error. He overpaid for Twitter. He bought the top. He's not good at timing markets.
The billionaire capitalist who buys a public forum turns into a private playground.
No, it was shit beforehand, please. The Twitter files proves it was even more shit than people thought.
I agree. They're all, as you said, controlled by
still shit.
People. They're controlled by a few people. Linux is not. Vitalik doesn't control Ethereum. He could die tomorrow and Ethereum would still be.
Yep, true. So I don't have a problem with private people owning stuff that's cool. He wants to create a better world. And he thinks that free speech will do that. And I think he's actually wrong.
I agree.
Oh my God, Richard.
Wrong. Not only is he wrong, but the system he's embedded in, capitalism, compels speech. Compels it. Meaning if you don't say what I want you to say, you get fired and replaced with someone who will say what I say. And the competition doesn't make it any better.
Free speech only improves the world if and only if people use that speech to advertise and propagate superior ideas and behaviors. If, however, free speech is only used to propagate stuff that sucks, in fact, it does harm.
And how do you think they do? Profit motive? They will basically look at news. Look at the wars that we
Right.
have right now
News
in
is
Russia and
horrible.
Ukraine and in the United States. The wars are because the top-down media tells you controversial and incendiary things, because that's what makes you come back. And you're not going to watch that Ukrainian helped a Russian grandma or a Russian helped the Ukrainian grandma across the street. That just doesn't sell. So you know, and the governments get involved. The governments get involved, and then they compel these corporations, or soft compel them, these news and the governments. They all radicalize their population, like in Yemen or in the Middle East or anywhere. These people don't hate each other. Regular people, I know, I have Ukrainian developers, I have Russian developers. Like, people don't hate each other. Like, left to their own devices, they're not gonna take a AK-47 and go shoot each other, much less drop bombs. Okay, these are governments doing it. And the media is top down. It's controllable. It's top down. So what I'm basically saying is
there is a fair amount of the top down. There's some more and less. It depends how lazy the top is. If the top's lazy, then the writers are going to just do whatever they want. If the top's actively eyeballing, then the writers are just going to do what the top wants. You have both kind of organizations. You got lazy ones, you got not lazy ones. And then you got ones that just, they end up doing whatever their audience wants. So they're like, what does the audience want? Well, let's do whatever that is, which is how you get a lot of right, left looking things.
But the profit motive ruins everything, is what I'm trying to say. Like, Wikipedia doesn't have the profit motive, which is why you trust it. Imagine if it was like Wikipedia by Fox News or by CNN. It's like, it's
but not all for-profit things have failed in the same way. A lot of for-profit things have. No, but like, it's a lot of times profit by and large makes things better.
Sometimes it does.
It only rarely makes things worse, and news seems to be one of those rare things that it makes it worse.
Look at factory farms. I can go down the list. Like, animals are suffering by the billions, and then you have a looming crisis of super bacteria because they're overusing antibiotics to save a buck. Like, all of the practices, but the market system selects for the farm that cuts corners. It selects for the farm that's more efficient at the expense of animals and everything else, right? So that's negative.
Some of those are short-term wins, but long-term losses, like antibiotics, short-term win, long-term loss.
Right. What the market system does a lot of the time. How would you use the market system to solve that?
If I had to kill animals, I would be a vegetarian. But since they're already getting killed by other people, they're so tasty.
Yeah, but there's induced demand, right? Yeah, I agree they're tasty, but the fact
they add demand, sure, but they add demand for vegetables too.
Yeah, look, I'm not taking a moral
big
stance.
Carrot. I'm not for big carrot.
So like, I don't have a moral stance on like killing the animals for 1 minute they suffer, like a lot of beings suffer from old age. I care about their life, how they grow up.
So let's take tigers and chickens. What's more likely to go extinct? Tigers. Why? They don't taste good enough. Well,
right.
Okay. Apparently there's been like the last
do you care about, I'm saying animal welfare. Like, do you care about animal welfare, right? How they live?
I want to, and my subconscious desire is to, but my ultra logical pragmatist brain says you only care about these things because your brain needs to maintain that ability for its human counterparts. But these things are not human. And 99.9% of anything that's ever existed is permanently extinct. That's the facts. Unless the humans come and shift an asteroid off course.
Hold on, I just want to be clear. I'm not talking about
again.
I'm not talking about extinction or death. I'm talking about the time that they're alive on this earth, right? Growing.
Yeah.
Whether they should be, their beaks should be cut off to not peck each other, right? And to live in shit, literal shit.
Well, that kind of, okay, that I don't really have a problem with those two. Like, they're doing chicken on chicken violence and we're helping them stop do that. That seems
the only reason why they're doing that is because they're cramped. Like, take the pigs, for example. They can't move. They start acting in ways that they wouldn't normally act, attacking other pigs, their own children. And
look, as a nice person, I wish every conscious creature a nice and enjoyable experience. But as a pragmatist that has to feed 7 billion people, you're like, well, we could have everyone eat cockroaches. Well,
no, we could simply
that's just okay for you because you don't care about how the cockroaches feel.
First of all, we could.
So this is like a.
No, this is the point. We could make the factory farms spend more resources, have 2 stories instead of 1, have bigger pastures, and people spend for free range chickens like a little bit more money. But it's
well,
not.
There you go.
doable, right? It's what I'm saying.
I'm not pro animal torture. I like animals. I'm also not pro kumbaya, like don't eat animals, or pro kumbaya, my chicken has to live in a room in my house with me or something. Like
How about a middle ground? How about free range chickens that can actually move?
Dude, I'm rich as shit. I don't mind paying the extra money for damn near anything. But the rest of the world doesn't have that option. Right?
First of all, if
so
there's
it's
one thing
easy
I
for
could
me to choose to like live in the eat luxury chicken, but like not everyone else can do that.
First of all, if I got Richard Hart on this stream to commit to actually buying free range shit and not tortured shit, that would be awesome.
I don't like. I'll buy the most expensive eggs available to me. That should do the trick, right?
No, just look at.
And that's what I do.
Look
like when
how
I
it was
shop for
treated.
food, I'm like, I'm buying ham. Okay, which is the most expensive ham? Probably tastes the best. Buying eggs. Okay, which is the most
Ask
expensive
the
egg?
chef at the restaurant. How was the animal raised? It's interesting. What
Fuck
just
that
here.
gay shit. It'll spit in my food.
Okay.
I would if someone asked me how the animal was raised before I made their food, I would spit in their food.
There's ways to ask
It's
that
just-
is normal, but yes, you could also be combative.
this-
Richard Hart,
What
combative.
type of personality did this animal that we killed for my idle pleasure have? Did it live a good life before I ate it?
Go visit a
carrot?
factory farm. Go visit a factory farm.
No, I've seen all the stupid videos. I know what's up, dude.
Yeah.
I've seen. If every chicken, if I could get $1 trillion and every chicken in the world died, if I pressed a button, I'd be like, bam! I'd press the button and go cure aging. I'd choose humans over chickens. I don't give a fuck about chickens, bro.
I'm not. You're
I don't
talking
care.
about died. I'm not talking about that stuff. I'm not saying like. Yeah, there's.
Yeah, I'll eat
people-
free range chicken. It's better for, I don't know, stuff. Cool.
I'm
I'll
just
do
saying,
that.
spend a little bit more money so the chicken's life, the years of its life, are normal.
I will eat free range eggs over not free range eggs whenever I can.
Fair
You heard
enough.
it here first.
Boom. So we
I
made
will
some.
also not eat dogs.
Chinese are very unhappy with you right now. Anyways, look, there is no good enough software for Web 2.
What do you mean?
For Web 2. I kind of skipped. Like Web 1, we have WordPress and PHP BB. Okay, that's kind of Web 2.
I don't even think there's a Web 2. What's Web 2?
That's the social web.
That's
with
social media?
generated content, user generated. Like,
Okay.
yeah.
Sure. Okay. What's
there's-
Web 3?
So my point is, your site sucks because it's a Web 1 site, and it sucks. And
It would
could be,
suck if it was a Web 1 to 2 site as well.
it would
It
suck.
would have no
less.
users.
No,
It
you don't
wouldn't
know.
have users, dude.
Yeah, you want to do the experiment? I'll turn your site.
It would.
I'll do it.
Fuck! I have so many things I have to do today. I didn't know this was going to go 3 hours. Fuck. I'm like
Okay.
texting.
I figured 3 hours. Look, let's just wrap it up. I just want to show you an example of here. Here's some sites. I built one for Andrew Yang and the Forward Party.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You built Andrew Yang's website?
Yeah.
No, you just
not the website,
You just kind of made a copy of one or something.
But no, I know Andrew Yang. I know the people running the Forward.
So you made Andrew Yang's actual website he promotes?
No, he couldn't promote
Okay.
this officially. Yeah, that's a campaign laws.
Okay.
But this is yang.app. Okay, this was his website. No, dude, like I don't want to name drop, but people know me, like they know.
Shut up. You don't want to name drop. Yeah, you do. Shut up. You're lying. Of course you
don't know.
do. And you
I don't
should.
know.
It's good.
My point is this, though. I am
Name dropping
trying
is
to work.
good.
I'm
if
trying
it's
to work
real.
with the largest groups. I don't care if people know me. I care if people know my work. So
Okay.
yeah, the largest. So this is a Web 2.0 site, meaning you could do things like teleconference, all the stuff that we're doing now. You could do here. I don't know if you could see this. Hold on, show you. We partnered with Ready Player Me, for example, and do avatars here. Let me see if I can. Yeah, I have to turn it on.
I'm sure you're making great progress in the profile picture industry.
It's not that. You'll actually be surprised. Give me 1 second. If I could hold. Here we go. All right, ready for this? These avatars are about to come to life. So in 2022, 2 months ago,
GIF avatars?
yes.
Okay.
So my point is, like,
we have those in Telegram.
imagine
You know Telegram has everything.
It
Do you know how
doesn't-
good Telegram is?
Telegram is.
Let me tell you how good Telegram is, bro.
I'm meeting with the CTO of Telegram actually later. This.
They're they do things I never even thought about. So like if you send someone a voice message, there's a little A that pops up next to it. If you click the A, it understands it for you and types the text. So if you're like in a movie, you can read people's messages.
Dude,
Now you're gonna
Telegram is
dox.
the best closed source, so like closed network.
It's fucking
It is
great.
literally
It's
like the
so
only
great.
network, and it's run by Pavel Durov, though. The reason it's
Yep.
good, okay, is because Pavel Durov is literally run out of the country by the government of
Yep.
Russia. Okay.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
so he knows what it's like. And the other
Mm-hmm.
network, the other anarchist is Maxi Marlinspike, who did WhatsApp and Signal now. It's not as good, but at least
I didn't know he did WhatsApp. I knew he did Signal.
yeah, Moxie.
Oh.
Yeah, he built it with John Kuhn. Look at this. Look at my screen right
He
now.
hates Web3, by the way, even though he shilled a shitcoin. Didn't he
Oh, I thought-
shill
Yeah, I
what
have a
was the
response.
shitcoin he shilled called? Can't remember.
I don't know, man.
He wrote his post on why he hates Web3, but then he also promoted some dumb coin.
No, he didn't. He just
World
made an
coin or some
NFT to
shit.
prove that he hates Web3. That's
No. They did a world coin thing, bro. They had some fucking, there was a coin thing.
so look,
There was
look
a
at my screen.
stupid coin.
Look at my screen right now. What do you see?
A gay guy?
Uh,
This dude looks gay.
I know.
Is this you? You look
That's-
gay, bro. Stop.
That's the gay
I feel
avatar.
like you're trying to molest me through my internet. You said the internet could never hurt me. I feel hurt right now. You wink at me?
I
think
see
you
why
just
they
winked.
banned you from Twitter. I'm kidding.
Stop. Quit it. Jesus.
Anyways.
I'm gonna cover that and just look at your actual face.
Yeah,
Not
but
as
see,
threatening.
all I'm trying to say is if you can't make it to Honduras, so I went to this private city in Honduras. It's called Prospera. They're building like private cities, the kind of things you might like. And
What?
yes,
Fuck.
Prospera.
I think I heard about this. Isn't the one that's like an island? Everyone's pissed off about it.
No, this is a
No.
libertarian project. So they do special economic zones in different countries, like in Africa, African countries. They also do it in Honduras. This is one of the first.
Okay.
Okay. So I went there. I was at 2 different conferences there. It's actually more interesting, I guess, if I tell you about myself. I'm not bragging. It's just what I do.
Go.
So I went there, and so we're building a event system for them, right? All of these events and video conferencing and social media. This is open source. This is Web 2. This is essentially Facebook, but it's open source. So
Nice.
we give it to these people, and sometimes people can't fly out to the island. Okay, you can't make it there. So if you have a destination wedding, or you have some sort of corporate event, or you actually have your Hex community, okay? Imagine if half the people were in the metaverse. So you say metaverse has no application. One application.
We're all on Telegram, bro.
Yeah,
I have like
I get that, man.
60,000 people in my chat room on Telegram.
Yeah, I know. I've been
There
there.
are a lot of people.
What I'm saying to you is that if you have an event like a wedding, it's not enough to just be in a fucking chat room. Like, you imagine if there's like a mirror, right? You come up to the mirror and you see everyone else. They're not at the party. They're all in their homes, right? Because they couldn't make it. But they see you with cameras and you see them. It's just one example, right? So it would be actual human interaction, as close as you can get to actually being there. You see? You can have a VR headset if you wanted, but you don't have to.
Yeah, I hear you. It's like, it sounds like Twitch and Zoom. It's like, it sounds like FaceTime.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's different somehow, but like we have this tech.
You're like
now
literally
in
a boomer,
everyone's
by the
pocket
way.
Now,
I've never heard.
maybe.
You're like a boomer in like web, like basically everything you talk about PHP BB, you're like, oh, this sounds like like this thing.
Yeah, but it like it's very useful because it lets you detect scams. Like SafeMoon is a reboot of Proof of Weekends, and it failed in this way. And this coin is a reboot of this failure that failed in this way. And then it's knowing history is pretty useful because history tends to repeat itself.
Not necessarily. Like the .com bust, you had pets.com fail, but then you have Amazon, right? Like things succeed.
Yeah, but all that stuff ended up succeeding.
Pets.com
home delivered dog food is wildly successful now, which was what pets.com original model was. So
That's
the
my
model
point.
was fine. It was just early.
So
Food
that's the opposite
delivery,
of what you
web van
said.
failed then, but it kicks ass now.
Right. So that's the opposite of what you said, is that history repeats itself.
No,
Fail the same
history
way.
did repeat itself. That shit, it happened again. It just happened at a better market valuation. It was successful economically, but the business model literally repeated and was successful the second time. So the business repeated,
Let
but
me
the
challenge you on a
success.
few things because I want to kick up the energy.
Yep.
So one thing I
Do
want
it.
to challenge you on is, look, coins like Hex and Bitcoin, okay?
Mhm.
I'm going to say that they are a zero-sum game. And that's, I don't want to
Every
say,
speculative instrument is a zero-sum game.
yes. And the thing that creates the value is the utility. Like, for example, and I'll be super clear what I mean.
Nope. What creates
Can
the
I be
value
super
is the
clear?
people that buy it.
Yeah, that's what, no, but hold up. That's the difference. If they buy it and they have a right to sell it back at 100% of the price or whatever the price to someone else, then they're not really buying it. They're speculating on it. They're holding it. So there's a tulip mania of all kinds. What I'm talking about.
This is where all value is stored, which is why utilities have low
No.
earnings per share ratios. It's
Hold up. Here's the point. When Amazon sells you a product, when it delivers to your house, maybe 1% of the time you do a refund. The rest of the time, you're done. You don't get the money back. You have utility. You consume the product, you use the product, you like the product. That's a customer. What I'm saying is a customer, and the reason why banks, why it's not necessarily the same as and I'm pushing you on this, it's not the same as a certificate of deposit, is because banks make their money by lending to productive sectors of society.
That's not what they do.
Services and goods.
They lend money to people that don't need it. If you need the money, they won't lend it to you.
That's even better. They money
also lend out inflation. They don't lend out your money. Your money stays there.
I never said they lend out your own money. They create the money. But what I'm saying is they make profits. That certificate of deposit, the money comes from, you say, where's the money come from? It's not a zero-sum game. It comes from productive sectors of society.
No, it's because people buying stupid shit on Amazon is not productivity. It's pseudo productivity that you think's productive because you might like some of the stupid shit that they bought.
Sure, fills needs.
People buying a speculative instrument that could change the future of man's relationship with government and forever free them from the treadmill of debt and boom and bust cycle is a better investment than fucking consuming candy and calling it productivity.
That's just your opinion, right?
No, it's not my opinion. It's measurable. The statistic probability that eating candy solves the government problem is 0.
No, but buying
the
food,
concept that blockchain can do it is higher than 0.
Okay, paying rent and buying food literally helps my Maslow's needs. Okay, putting money into
but how much of the food that's bought on there is the real food that people really need, and how much is it shit that's not healthy for people in the first place?
Do you agree people have Maslow's needs? They need to eat. You agree with that?
Yeah. Yes.
Survive. Okay. Yep. They don't need a certificate of deposit where their money comes from other people's money. As much as they need food.
So let's turn off the blockchains and all farm. That's a good idea. Let's all farm. We need food. Food's the best thing. It's on Maslow's
throughout history,
list.
we had no blockchains and people needed food. Guess what? The other way, turn off all food and have blockchains. You can't eat your blockchains.
No, but these are appeals to the disappearing middle. These are false binary choices. They're not mutually exclusive. You can have both. Right. You're making the very basic noob investor argument that everyone gets wrecked on, that utility is a better thing to invest in than stupid zero-sum games.
No, what I'm saying is, I want to be clear.
Zero-sum games outperform utility shit all day, every day, in every market.
Not for the people that bought the top. Bro, the people that bought
not for those guys, correct.
Yeah.
So
the people that bought, there's always going to be a top.
The reason that is because there is no top in the other things, because they never fucking go up. So you can't get fucked buying them because you have no chance of ever making any money.
So dude, this is where we're super different, right? You're all about number go up, and I'm all about maximum utility for people to actually get things done. Okay, so that's where so for you,
people are not buying cryptocurrencies for utility. They're buying them to get fucking rich. That's what
I'm talking about, but they should be.
So I talk about people.
That's why crypto sucks.
And other people talk about shit people don't use.
That's why most cryptocurrencies, people get robbed, get left holding the bag, like by hedgies and other people, better traders. Dude, the fact is,
I like that. I never heard that term. Hedgies. Nice, dude.
That's what I call them, man. Look,
vulture capitalists.
You are the fish, okay? You listening there. You are the fish at the poker table. If you think that you can go in and do your futures and your whatever.
If you buy the thing with utility, you will be wrecked even harder.
No, you don't. You buy the thing in utility.
Bitcoin has no fucking utility.
You eat food.
It's a dead rock that can't do shit. It doesn't generate yield.
I agree.
It doesn't have on-chain exchange. It doesn't have NFTs. It doesn't have a fucking roadmap. It doesn't have a higher throughput. It's a piece of dead dog shit. But guess what? It's the best performing asset that's ever existed in the history of fucking mankind.
Because there's a religion.
It went up 690 million%.
Yes.
It's a dead rock.
Because people believe it has value. It's a religion. Yes.
It's going to get flipped by Ethereum in the next year or two.
Dude, Hex might get flipped at some point. That's not the point. What I'm trying to say is that both Hex and Bitcoin, at the end of the day, you guys could use it as a reserve currency for all kinds of utility.
Yeah, but utility is overrated, bro.
Okay.
It's not
so
a
you've
good,
chosen
it's
to.
not a good trait to have for high performing assets, believe it or not.
That's your opinion. I don't believe it.
Look
But
at
I
the charts. Look at the charts.
Listen, I have the argument the other way. You could, I've heard your arguments. I've watched your videos, man. I know what you talk about. You
And
talk
look, I
about,
have my own utility fucking coins coming out the yin yang. Like we have our own copy of Ethereum coming up.
that's
We
why I
have our
started to
own
like you more,
on-chain exchange.
because
Like,
you actually
we
started
have
to,
this shit.
if all you ever did was Hex, I would be like, ah, that guy's just a shill. But like, you actually like build
I've done a
pulp.
lot of stuff. I've done a lot of stuff.
Well,
Remember the first things I did were give
self-aggrandizes
away
himself.
700 pages of free books and free self-help videos and not talked about like
that. I like. So
I did all that shit
So what's wrong with that, man?
first.
You like the
It's
acclaim?
fine. It just doesn't pay that well.
You have a hole in your heart that you need to fill with praise and adulation. Like what?
Yes. And I need laid more. No matter how much laid I get, I need more laid. Like there's never
I'm
enough
pretty sure
laid.
with your money, you can just get laid. You don't have to. That's the thing. Why would you go to a whorehouse, for example? Why? If you could just.
I don't do that. I have more than enough good shit going on.
Right. That's
like,
my point. Why would you brag
I
about?
fuck so much. Sometimes my dick is just sore.
So then why
You
would
gotta
you
slow
brag
down
about
a
yourself?
little bit.
Maybe your thing is sore from listening to the praise. Like, why would you brag about yourself then? Go anyway. I just want to understand
Dude,
about
it worked out for Genghis Khan.
Yeah, okay. You kind of use actual violence there. Look, man, the society works on open source software, on science, on things you give away, maybe Creative Commons. So what I'm telling you is that's utility you don't even get money for. I'm fine with Amazon selling a product and people creating products for each other. We serve each other. I love that capitalism. I love that. But when you get into the finance industry and you have the zero-sum game of shuffling money around, guess who the losers are in Hex, in Bitcoin? Guess who the losers are? The people who came in last, the people who bought the top, the last top, whatever the top may be, there's always a top.
You know who the losers will be in your utility thing? The guys that bought last. It's the same for everything. You know who paid the highest? Like every speculative instrument has that property.
No, what I'm trying to say to you is there's a speculative bubble atop the utility. If you choose to play, you can get wrecked, and that's your problem. You're a speculator, fine. But what I'm saying is the productive capitalism is where businesses serve the people. There's a pizzeria, I order the food, I eat it. The pizzeria doesn't get, I can't regurgitate the pizza and give it back to them.
You're just for big pizza. You must own shares in Domino's. You must own shares in a weight loss center. I don't know.
I should actually. I should own a big. I should be a chef.
I have to run. I hope that your open source stuff kicks ass and that it's better. I do.
But one last question. I just want to ask you like a pointed question to you. Okay. And again, I just want to press you on this. To me, Hex and many other coins that have nothing. No utility. By that I mean people don't part with their money expecting to not like give it back. Okay. Those coins are zero-sum games. So my question to you is, yes, of course, when there's a bull market, they go up, and you can always have a Ponzi scheme-like thing where the future investors bring more money into the pie, they grow the pie. The earlier investors get out, they make profit, sure. But you're going to come to a point where you run out of other people's money. You're going to get to a point where it slows down on the S-curve.
Yeah.
At that point, man, you need utility for customers to get some value that's non-reversible, because otherwise all you're doing is you have a bunch of people stuck in 10-year-old stakes.
If only
it's forever. And if they start selling it, it goes to zero because there's no money created.
If only blockchains had utility, like if only they replaced offshore banking, Visa, MasterCard, lending, time deposits, identity.
So Hex is a time
ticketing.
Deposit. I got it.
If only they did all of those things.
So in the interest of time, Hex is
and removed middlemen and removed counterparty risk. If only they did all those things.
No, but Hex,
blockchains do all those things.
Dude, Hex is just an application on top of a blockchain.
No, Hex does half of that shit.
Yeah, because
Hex
it's
does half of that shit.
Ethereum does all those other things you're saying. The underlying network does it for any ERC20 token, the self-sovereignty, the ability to.
It doesn't do time deposit. It doesn't.
Right. So the one thing I want to ask you about is time deposit. Most certificates that you deposit in a bank, okay, the money comes from the productive sector of society. Yes, but the inflation is backed by goods and services. Look, if the government simply
no, it's not.
Okay, imagine all the which
is why all fiat currencies fail.
Imagine if
That'll
all
go
the
to zero.
businesses failed in America and there was no business going on, and you just printed money. You just printed money. Sure, that money would be worthless. There would be nothing to spend it on. That's my point.
Listen, you can choose to like Pulse Chain or Pulse X more than Hex if you want, because you don't understand the utility
I like
of delayed
utility.
gratification. That's fine. But just realize that everyone else that believed as you do got the living shit stomped out of them in every other speculative arena, whether it be crypto or the stock market. And the people that speculated in dumb rock bullshit, stupid, newfangled, actually non-utility shit have all outperformed.
Vitalik,
they've all outperformed.
Tim Berners-Lee invented.
And how are his fucking responses? He just sold the bottom. He just sold $50 million of Ethereum at the fucking bottom a couple weeks ago.
Dude,
how's
I respect, but the reason I respect
he's been dumping the Ethereum price for fucking 6 years.
The world is better off. Like Tim Berners-Lee has done more for the world than you have, and that's fine. Like he has done more.
He can suck my balls. Tim Berners-Lee, the internet would have gotten invented without you, bitch. So I'm glad you invented it, but I don't give a fuck.
You don't think someone else would have invented a time deposit? Dude, all I'm trying to say to you is it's okay to not be the best in the world at everything. But what I'm trying to tell you is there's a
let me know when his free self-help books and his free coins come out. Otherwise, you can suck my D. Unless you have free self-help books and a 10,000x coin and are giving away free coins, you're out of the running.
Richard,
doesn't give away
the question
coins,
is,
by the way,
the people who are delaying their gratification past the S curve, aren't they going to get wrecked? Because
you have to wait for the next cycle, bro. It's a cyclical industry. It cycles in 4 years. When you
but where's the money coming from in the end for the people who bought
the next guy?
Where's that?
You know what? All businesses are a Ponzi, because where's the next dollar coming from? Where's the next dollar coming from? What if people stop buying here?
People
the business
buy
goes out of business.
Food to eat it.
All of life is a Ponzi. What if people stop having kids? Where will the fucking humanity come from? Bro, every single thing in life requires people to keep inputting energy. It's a good thing we have the sun. Without the sun, everything would fucking stop.
Where are you getting into this philosophical shit? Dude, there's literally a difference between a person buying something they need and consuming it, and a person who is temporarily.
What if everyone sells all the houses at once? The price will go to zero.
Temporarily.
These arguments are stupid.
No, they'll sell to someone.
Arguments.
No, you're wrong, because someone will live in those houses if they sold. No, you're wrong. There's a use value and there's a market value. They're different, man. The use value is you live in the house. Every day you use the house.
Hex went up 1,000,000%. I'm glad that you think you have a feel-good fan fiction reason why it sucks.
I know why it went up 1,000,000%. You were in a bull market. You were the first token on Uniswap. You literally caught the hype wave. And more than that, more importantly, Hex has good tokenomics, but the money comes. Yes, but the money comes from but it's still a Ponzi scheme, just like
every single goddamn speculative instrument. If you buy stock in Burger King, you can't change the menu. You can't change the hours. You can't go there and pull cash out of the fucking register. All you can do is sell to the fucking next guy.
But
you're not going to disprove the stock market as a fucking concept.
This is what you say in your videos. This is what you say in your videos, but you're missing one thing, and that is the whales that have a lot of Amazon. They price it. It's not you, the grandma prices it. They own the shit, and they do have.
No, the goddamn executive board makes those choices. You as a shareholder, not a fucking board member, you can't execute any fucking control over the company.
That's not true. The pension funds.
All you can do is change the board. You can't do shit.
That's what governance is.
Being a shareholder is shoving your thumb up your fucking ass.
And dividends.
You can't do anything.
You can get dividends. Where do you think the money goes?
Yeah, and yes, you can get dividends and see how many
that's
people
important
got rich
though,
on
man.
fucking dividends.
Dividends come from profits, which come from serving.
Yes, which no one gets rich on. It's because
the rest,
shit.
Dude, speculative bubbles is what's going to destroy this economy of these bubbles and now crypto. Now the next thing, all you see popping is people.
You can be mad at the bubbles, or you can get rich on the bubbles. Your choice.
3 Hours Capital, all those things that you call out, they died because they invested in a bull market, promising returns and outside.
They got wrecked. I called the top on the day. They bought the top on the day. My people got saved. They got fucking wrecked. I was right. They were wrong.
You can only. That's the thing. It's a zero-sum game. You save these people at the expense of
not
those.
a zero-sum game. It's so stupid. You are probably building open source software probably from fucking money you got from dumping the crypto price. So your money you made on crypto, you probably put into making the fucking world better.
Wrong.
Like a lot of people make money on some stupid shit and then do something good with it. Like Bill Gates or like fucking Zuckerberg.
No, but you're wrong. I didn't. And the fact is, if we
didn't make any money on crypto, is that what you want to brag about?
I did not.
That you missed the best performing asset class of all time? I wouldn't brag about that.
Dude, that's the thing. You brag about capitalism. I'm okay with that stuff. I need to.
Is the guy warning people about being the next greater fool also the guy launching a new coin? Is this what's up right now?
No, I'm not launching a new coin. Dude, the point is, Tim Berners-Lee didn't launch a new coin. Linux didn't launch a new coin. BitTorrent.
Tim Berners-Lee, if you're listening, fuck you. That's what's up. And I'm still going to
Maybe
use
he
the
will.
internet anyway. Aren't you pissed?
I'll send this to him. I know.
I think he trash talked blockchains, bro. I think he shit talk blockchains. That's what
blockchains do suck, though. You trash talk blockchain.
Yeah, but they suck. They suck in ways that we well understand for the last 13 fucking years. And so we use them for the way that they don't suck. They're great for censorship resistance. They're great for mad gains. They're not great for high throughut. Who gives a fuck? You can put it off chain and put the hash on chain.
The who gives a fuck is the rest of the world.
Put the high throughput off chain and put the hash on chain.
What Tim and I want,
or use L2s, or fucking wait for me to scale a bunch of L1 with a bridge, or like
your pools are it's centralized. It's all centralized. I don't know who's going to run pools, but listen, the point is that Tim and I
don't think it is going to be centralized. Truthfully,
I know you don't. You're the one. You're promoting it. Of course, you don't think that that's going to be.
No. Hold on a second.
Years.
Let's talk about BSC. Let's talk about BSC.
BSC is centralized.
BSC has, I believe, 21 validators. Go look at who the validators are. They're not just carbon copies of fucking the founder, CZ. They're not him.
Look,
because it's not in their best interest to make a carbon copy.
We have three branches of government. I agree that the separation of powers is good, like checks and balances. I agree with that. Look, dude,
like not having an office building is great. You can't kick
my problem with most blockchains, the public ones, is that the throughput sucks, therefore they can't be used. Like if the world uses it, the price for transactions will be super high. And if you talk about
you just can't. There's just not. It doesn't matter what the price is. There's not enough throughput.
Exactly, you can't.
It doesn't matter
at any price. Any price. So we agree.
Sure.
Blockchains suck. Layer 2s are centralized again. So basically, you're talking about settlement.
But does your game need censorship resistance? No. So like you can do it in layers, right? Like most people don't run their own email servers. It's kind of federated. It's like you can accrue value. Mm-hmm. So Pulse Chain should help Ethereum scale by removing its users, because you can bridge over, do all you need to do, and then just bridge back if you need to. And you never need to bridge back if you've got what you need on this side. So like horizontal scaling is fine. I think even regional scaling is fine. I think you can have American.
When are we going to get to the point where communities can run their own elections, contests, like things locally, every community in the world? When can we get to that with Pulse Chain or anything?
I'm happy to take very small steps. I want Pulse Chain to launch, and then I'll talk about it doing really awesome stuff, because it launches with everything that's already on Ethereum, unless it's fake DeFi, and then there's some middleman whose D you have to suck to get him to launch his front end or whatever. But for the stuff that's real DeFi, it comes with everything. So
I think real DeFi basically should be serving the people. And we're kind of complementary. Like we build the software that's going to run on Pulse Chain. Like you build the Pulse Chain, right? We're going to run this software. We're going to have DAOs.
You know the difference between us? You know how screwed up the world is, and you're trying to fight it. And I know how screwed up the world is, and I'm willing to just take advantage of it. And I'm like, okay, this shit sucks like this. Well, then let's play the sucky game.
Right.
I'm not willing to be like, I'll launch my own Facebook, which is what you're literally doing. Yeah, you're literally like, I'm going to launch my own Facebook. Yeah. I wish you luck with that shit. I do. I'm not going to launch my own Facebook.
I know, man. It's too
low hit rate.
But you're teaching you're teaching your followers that you're saving their lives. That's true, but you're doing it at the expense of others. When you called it on the day,
that's not true. You know the risk when you go in. I'm the person that tells you blockchains drop 95% all the fucking time. I'm the one that tells you that I got in at 30 and it went to 2 into Bitcoin. I'm the one that shows you a highlighted chart of every massive retarded sized dip that Hex has had. 87%, 95%, 70%, 80%, 60%. It's like 15 times it's done.
Where does the money come from? The fools that lost their shirts.
Yes, always the greater fools, always.
Okay,
where does the new
Richard,
kids come
are you
from?
going to be promoting
greater people having sex? Where does your higher house price come from? The greater iterate buying.
Okay, so are you going? Here's the big question: are you going to keep promoting?
What you're saying is tautological.
But
every
are you going
thing
to?
That goes up in price goes up because some other guy paid more. It's a stupid observation.
If you are seeing
everything has that property.
Okay, do you agree that Bitcoin's approaching an S curve? You're the one who's saying
yes.
That. Okay.
Yes.
when Hex starts to
And guess
approach-
what, bro? An S curve doesn't fucking go to the bottom, which is what you're advertising to. It just means at the top there's less volatility. So there's less mad gains, but there's less mad loss.
Mhm.
So you're just yelling at volatility is all you're doing.
No, I'm saying that at the end of the S curve, it could go down, right? Like many of these.
No, most like, look, people still use fucking fax machines. Like people still use hula hoops. Like
Are you going to be
the issue
promoting?
isn't you're not buying the rate of adoption. You're buying the price.
Are you going to be
I
promoting
don't-
Hex by the time it's like a fax machine dinosaur? Like, are you going to be promoting Hex?
I
when
don't know that I promote Hex now. What type of promoting am I doing now? I'm not sure that I
Oh, no.
promote it.
you have conferences and you have all kinds of.
I
things.
don't have conferences. I got invited to that shit.
Nice.
I don't have anything to do with it.
Okay.
I literally have nothing to do with any of all of this
I
marketing.
thought that
you
you're
see,
like
I have
a
nothing to do with
promoter,
it.
like you are
No.
both publicly, right?
Fuck no, I got invited to that. The
Uh-huh.
dude named Maddie makes that thing. All these things you see, people handing out
So I
flyers, doing
respect that.
direct
If you-
mail,
if
the
you at some
fucking
point-
the NASCAR. I have nothing to do with any of that.
I respect that.
Nothing.
If like Elon Musk said, Bitcoin's overvalued, my stock is overvalued, like he said those things. I would respect you immensely if like at some point Hex approaches an S curve top and you're like, you know what? The gain's just not going to be as
Why
much.
the fuck would the
as-
S curve happen in year 3? That's not
We're in a bear
common.
market, bro. Where's it going to come from? The money.
You watch. You just watch, dude. Watch.
Okay.
Like the concept, nothing has changed. The offering is the exact same, except the community is larger. It's before any real listings on any exchanges. It's before the documentary comes out. It's before everyone stops calling it a scam. It's before Pulse Chain. It's like pre-viral. It's not on TV. No one says nice things about it. No influencers say anything nice about it. All those are just doors that can open.
What do you think is going to change?
I don't think that CoinMarketCap doesn't even list it properly. Like every single thing
Because
that could be against it is against
because
it.
the liquidity is so small.
And you're under maximum FUD as well. You also
can
have
manipulate the
SEC
market
FUD.
with
You have
such-
like
with liquidity like that, you can manipulate the price all day long. Like
I think it's so funny when people talk about this shit. People don't know about price charts. What could be more expensive than quote manipulating a market?
I'm not saying
So
that.
you're going to buy other coins. You're going to buy other
You-
people's
you-
coins and
hold
push the
up.
price up, and then
One
they're going to sell
sentence.
into you and
One
murder your
sentence.
stack.
You want
How risk-free
CoinMarketCap?
is that?
You want CoinMarketCap to list you properly? Just have more liquidity. They'll list you properly.
That's not how it works. You don't
If you
know
have a
shit
big
about
ass
what you're
liquidity
talking
pool
about.
and you're still the second after Bitcoin
Nope.
in
Nope.
coin.
Nope. They
You
only
don't have
care
a big
about
ass liquidity
centralized
pool.
exchange listings. They
The
only
people-
care about centralized exchange listings. They don't give a fuck about what your liquidity
That's not
pool
true.
is. They only care about centralized exchange listings. Bitch, I know coins that have $100 million of motherfucking liquidity on chain for years that ain't fucking listed on CoinMarketCap because they only care about
You're right.
centralized exchange listings, and it's in their fucking documents if you fucking read them.
Fine, but most of us, the
They
public,
don't care
trust-
about your liquidity.
most of the
They
public
don't care
look,
about Uniswap. They don't give a fuck.
I love on-chain. I think that you are honest, that you're on-chain. But what I'm saying is if you had more liquidity, the price discovery would be more honest because you can manipulate.
No, you would just have less volatility.
Yeah.
You would not have. Hex was the most liquid thing on-chain exchange for a very long fucking time. And yet it was still extremely volatile. Because when the price of a thing goes up 10,000 fucking fold and a guy's dollar turns into $10,000, that guy can move the fucking price around with his amazingly expensive stack of fucking coins. And why would I want more liquidity in a thing that I want to go up more when liquidity equals less volatility and less volatility equals
Otherwise, it's just a
less price up?
casino because otherwise it's a Ponzi.
Right.
That's-
So when I see, how is having less or more volatility answer the question of Ponzi whatsoever? Listen,
Okay.
your appeal
Okay.
to
Yeah.
utility matters and Ponzi doesn't matter is disproven by every fucking price chart I can find. Bitcoin that does nothing
It's like
has the highest
GameStop.
performance of any
Talking about like
asset that has
GameStop,
ever fucking
AMC.
existed.
It's like GameStop.
Dogecoin, which is a goddamn copy of Litecoin, which is a copy of Bitcoin, which is fucking MergeMind, which is just a fucking copy pasted logo change, has also outperformed Bitcoin. So even shittier does absolutely fucking nothing. Dumb rock coins have outperformed every fucking thing.
That's
I
temporary.
hate to break it to you, but utility is not as good of a sales pitch as buzzword fucking bullshit.
I agree.
Buzzword bullshit
problem with the culture.
outperforms utility.
That's why people lose their shirt and the society is still, you know, in that stage. Crypto was invented to get the middlemen out, and all these people, all they do all day long is give money to the middlemen so they could play in their
Right. But isn't it irresponsible of you to fucking pretend that the thing people should invest in is the thing that has dog shit fucking returns? Because you seem to be more than comfortable to show that shit.
I don't think
utility shit has dog shit returns, and you're all about it. You're like, yeah, let's go do the real thing.
I didn't say about.
Hey, you know what the real thing is?
When was the last time I shilled anything for people to invest in?
No, but like,
honestly, what are you talking about?
You say that everything's greater fool, everything is Ponzi, and so people should do things that have utility.
You said everything's Ponzi because
these are your words.
No,
you said everything's a greater fool Ponzi thing.
No, you said that.
You said Hex is. You said, you know, Rich, one day if you add some utility, I might like Hex. And I like you because you did a copy of Ethereum and that has more utility. I'm telling you, you're a noob investor because you give a fuck about utility, but the price chart doesn't. The price chart only gives a fuck about what people fucking buy. That's what they care about. Yeah. And unfortunately, the humans don't want to buy the same shit you want to buy.
Dude, I'm a tech guy, but you're a marketer, bro, and I'm a tech bro. Okay, so you're talking about, oh, let's just sell a bunch of hot air and people will buy that shit. Sure, I can sell a pet rock. Dude, my point is
that's what Bitcoin did.
Dude, you don't like
not peer-to-peer digital cash. It's in the
white paper. Down on NFTs,
it still has the best price chart.
Bro, you should like NFTs because your whole argument is people could buy whatever the fuck as long as.
No, but you're just ignoring what the humans want. A price chart is literally a measurement of what people want to buy and hold, and then what people want in the supply.
The spot price is what they will pay now. Most NFTs went to zero in liquid market. They couldn't even discover.
You know what? Sadly, they're not at zero yet. I think they still have a way to go.
So what makes you?
I'd like to see them at zero.
What makes you so bullish on some meme coins and not on NFTs?
I'm not bullish on meme coins. I wish they weren't a thing, but they were a thing, and they did a thing, and their price charts are still. Here's what people don't get: GameStop. What a fucking scam, right? The people that bought early are still up massive.
Yeah.
Bitcoin, what a scam.
Religion.
It's not peer-to-peer cash. People bought early are still up massive. Oh, Hacks, it doesn't do anything. People that bought early, I saw a guy selling at 100x returns after a 95% drop. That's how fucking much money that guy made. And that was before staking. He staked and made even more. So after a 95% drop, this fucking guy's selling at 100x.
You're just kicking the problem down the road. It becomes bigger and bigger, the bubble.
No, right? At some point, you're pretending that there's a solution to the problem of speculative bubbles. There's not. Having no gains is not a solution to volatility. Hey, guys, guess what? No one can ever buy the top again because there's no fucking tops.
Yeah, you know Greg what though? They can actually use.
Greg doesn't like fucking mad gains, so now there's no tops. It's stupid. No one will ever buy.
They can live in the house. They can raise their children. They can have a good life instead of trying to get other people's money in a casino.
No one can afford to have a house. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, what houses cost?
The banking
would cost. No one can.
The American dream is a racket.
Fucking house. I can barely afford a house, dude. That's how expensive houses.
I totally agree with you. We can end on this. The American dream that's been sold to people. It's not the dream of your grandfather. On one paycheck, you could buy the entire house because basically what happened back then is one person worked in the entire family. And now the entire family works. But they flooded the labor pool with so many people. But here's what I'm trying to, and there's automation. But here's what I'm trying to tell you. When you think that you're not renting, you're buying, you're actually renting money. You're renting money from the bank. Then you're agreeing to work for 30 years to pay the money back, plus interest, plus whatever. But this is what I'm telling you, Richard. The people who are working and serving each other and earning that money and paying the interest, that's where the money comes from for these actual time deposits in the real banks.
You even got me to be against utility. It's amazing.
I think it's an amazing.
How do you do this, bro?
I think this was an amazing stream today.
Anti-crypto, anti-utility, anti-free speech, pro-government. Like, what the fuck?
Love it. Richard Hart,
I'm curious how we did this.
Controversial. I'm pro all those things. I'm pro the good things. So I hope you are too.
I will invite you to my country when it starts some long time from now. You can come visit it.
I would love to be. Hey, maybe you can invite me back in your stream.
We'll use your Facebook copy.
Maybe you can invite me on your stream. Are you streaming this or like what
no, I didn't stream this. This is just way too spicy, bro. You brought up a 20-year-old fucking Joe job email. Definitely not streaming this shit.
Just cut that out. Cut that out. I don't know, bro. Whatever. How do you know?
All right. Where can people find your shit, bro?
Okay.
Joe, where can people find your stuff?
You mean this video?
Well, you got stuff, right? You got other videos. You got video with Noam Chomsky. You got open source software. So intercoin.app is one URL I see on your screen here.
There's also a YouTube Intercoin channel.
All right.
But I don't care. Like, I don't.
Is it as good as Intercourse?
In some ways better, in some ways worse.
No.
I literally talk about zero-sum games. Yeah, like, dude, I don't care if people discover this. What I'm trying to tell you is we've reached 10 million users around the world in 95 different countries. My work, nobody knows me, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
You probably should switch it up. Try it my way. Put on a funny hat. See what happens. You might like it.
Well, I'll make you a deal. If you read my messages in Telegram, like like not after 5 months, then I'll do
Sorry.
that. All right.
I put you on the important list. I'll see your messages now.
Does it like show up when I actually text you?
Let me check it.
Yeah, let me text you right now. Just I'm curious, and then we'll end because I gotta go myself. I'm curious because when I send you the bridge and everything, I've been literally texting you like here's the bridge, and you
know.
I've here. Did you get that right now?
Let me make sure that you're in my list. It's easier for me to re-edit the list to make sure it's there.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, you gotta already be there because it won't let me add you. Let me look again.
Dude, is it okay if I publish it with your JoJob email, or should I remove that when I'm publishing it?
I just fucking it muddies the water. So you're making me look bad by association. It's 20 fucking years ago. In the last 20 years, have I been accused of any spam, anything? No. So why am I responding to a 20-year-old post from an actual spammer made to make me look like shit? It's not.
I think it's good. Because what I'm trying to say is, like, if nothing was out there and people weren't having questions, then yeah. But this actually clears it up. Like, this actually makes
all right, well, do it. Go ahead. Put whatever you want out there, dude.
Yeah, I'd rather ask a guy like, hey, what
it.
about this? And he's like, that wasn't me. And I was like, okay. And then he proves it. Like, that's good.
Yeah, I feel you. I mean, look, I still got sued for $500 in civil court for spamming, and it's an unrelated thing. So
it's unrelated. Well, how would I know? How would anyone know? That's why this show is like uncovering.
I don't mind it. Look, I think I own the world's largest diamond. I have $10 million in wristwatches, $3 million in cars. I created a cryptocurrency I gave away for free that went up in price 10,000 fold before staking. With staking, it could have been up 20,000 fold, which is better returns than I got holding Bitcoin since it was $30.
Someone has to pay for it. The bill comes due.
And then maybe it'll be you. Maybe you'll buy the top.
Doubtful.
What's wrong with buying the top? I bought the top at 30, went to 2. Now it's 18,000. But we'll run out of people. I've only been rich for fucking 13 years. No, it's fine. It's okay. I'm okay with it. And everyone else is okay with it too. It's a free market. They're okay with paying $17,000 for Bitcoin that I bought for 30 and mined for 50 cents. They're totally cool with it. Makes you angry because you think it's all greater fools, but everyone else loves it. The free market participants thinks it's great.
I'm not going to be in that, but yeah, I agree.
And then, I'm doing the world's largest free airdrop. I've got 700 pages of fucking free books you can download. And I called the price top on the day 2 cycles. So, like, what more do you want? I'm living the goddamn dream out here.
I want
Richard
you to
Hartwin.
I want you to eat ethically sourced animals.
Well, I mean, I will try. The eggs, it's easy. Cows, probably not. I'll have to look.
All right, man. Sounds good.
Good talking to you, bro.
Can I? So when I text you, it shows up?
Yeah, swear to God, shows up on my important list. I will see it.
Okay. All right, man.
Thanks, brother. Talk to you, man.
Talk to you. All right.
Ciao.
Like to be the first to hear about Intercoin's roadmap and news? Definitely join and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to click that little notification button so you can get updates when the next video drops. And the next time we interview a legend like Noam Chomsky or Patrick Friedman. And if you would like to participate in the conversation, go to community.intercoin.app. We'd love to hear from you and about your community. This is what the project is all about. Intercoin, bringing power to the people.